Good evening. Welcome back, everyone. Or welcome anyone new, I suppose, is watching. I already had it set up. Yeah, the thumbnail, like Ted was mentioning there, I was really trying to make a nicer thumbnail. So, but welcome, Ted. Welcome, Solar Strike, and Nico, and Christopher. Welcome all. Cat's already circling my cables, trying to unplug something. I was trying to do some testing yesterday, and she is. And she's already here. I was doing some testing yesterday, and she jumped up and like put like, actual claw marks in the padding here on my seat, and unfortunately in my side as well. So that stung a little bit. Evening, Paul Beaching, welcome. That stung a little bit, and there we go. I need the big camera, and I need to see if I can trim. Uh, Evening, Bandana, welcome. Trim her claws again because we keep forgetting. I mean, she's fine most of the time, but then of course she jumps up on your lap and just not on purpose, she's just like falling, so then she clasps on. So for anyone who's new, this is Zoe. Our 13-year-old cat is, I think, become the mascot for the channel almost. She often cameos in videos. If you guys keep an eye out, you'll probably see footage like a computer or something like that. You'll see a little tail sneaking by, and that's her, of course. So, Ian and Gabriel, welcome. Back on the MiSTer again. We're not going to stream MiSTer stuff forever. So we did an NES stream last week, right, for MiSTer, and then I put my video out finally, another video I've been saying I was going to make for like 6 months straight. Finally made it. It turned out to be very, very popular. By far the biggest video I have made. So that was a welcome surprise. And then I was kind of in like kind of MiSTer mood and figured like, well, we'll combine two things here and stream DOS on MiSTer because it's a intriguing platform to play DOS games on. We'll go over a little more of what that entails, but I have a list of games, and it's a really cool thing. Someone by the name of Flint's Bit on the he's on Twitter and all that good stuff, but on the MiSTer forums, he pre-compiled a nice 300 DOS game list with where he's basically trying to fix all the configuration issues. You can download a pre-done image. It's all extracted from Exodus, and he made a great series on it. So that's based on his work here now that we're running on it. You can just install, straight up DOS on here and install games that you want, but I really like this from a perspective of turnkey. For someone who maybe not has a DOS computer or is that into it, this is an intriguing option. You can emulate all this stuff, but if you have a MiSTer already or interested in one, the DOS thing is kind of like a bonus. And I think if someone who knows better than I do, correct me, but I think the MiSTer, you're probably going to get a 46, probably. It runs at 90 megahertz, is what it says. I do not believe we're actually getting that raw horsepower. Yeah, we're set at CPU clock 90 megahertz. It's small, you can't see it right now. Yep, here. There it is. We'll show it bigger in a second, but I think that you're probably getting like a 33 to 50 DX processor. The problem is with the MiSTer is that it does not have a math coprocessor, and it's not a Pentium class processor. So things like, Duke Nukem 3D will be always struggling. Newer stuff like that, late DOS games are not awesomely suited on here. You can run Windows 95, Windows 3.11, all that good stuff that you want. But I think that where this shines then is the earlier DOS games, or maybe like early 90s, that kind of stuff. And there's plenty of those in this pack here, so yes, you can certainly throw Windows 95 on it, and that's what I'm planning on doing as well. Fast 386, okay, that sounds about right. So things like I just said, Doom runs quite well, and a lot of different things will run well, but if you stick to the older stuff, I think you're going to have a better time on this one. Considering you think about the horsepower on this thing, right? The MiSTer isn't a one-to-one on amount of horsepower. Welcome, RetroTech. Welcome back. RetroTech Chris, for the full name. Welcome back. Appreciate you joining again. So there's plenty of other smart people that can explain the MiSTer or the FPGA stuff better than I can, but just like it's not a raw horsepower clock cycle that the MiSTer can produce. It has to do more with what you can simulate or emulate on it, right? So in this case, it's pretending to be a 4-6 processor with all that comes with it. So that's where the limitation sits, and there's just the space limitations and memory bandwidth limitations on how much you can duplicate or pretend to be, in the simplest term. So that's the cool thing too. I will switch the neat thing with this particular. So what I'm using now is basically a pre-built image. What you're looking at here, and that's speaking to Tiger's question on speed sensitive. This particular one has a little thing up here that says turbo fast. You can set the speed of the processor basically straight up here. And you can also then, if you would like to, set the CPU clock right here. So if you have a speed-sensitive game, just turn it straight down. We can test that theory in just a second, because there's one game on here that's just terrible. It's funny terrible, but it runs way too fast in the default configuration, so you can just step it down. You can see here you can disable the cache. And for the people that, I was going to say, for the people that are familiar with playing old school DOS games on faster machines, it's a very common trick to turn off cache to basically force the processor to run slower. And that is a great thing to use for playing. Like, I played Monkey Island when we streamed that. That was on a P166, and that was way too fast for Monkey Island. Turning off the cache slows it down to basically a 286 or 386, which is more in line with Monkey Island 1. So, yes, I will definitely put that in Discord for sure. It's basically on the MiSTer FBJ forums, and it's I'll put a link here in a second, but the it's Flynn's Bit, FLYNNBITS, I think. Flynn's Bit. He's on Twitter and a YouTube channel, and he goes through how he extracted this from Exodus. Because there's Ted, take a drink. It's based on Exodus, these images. What he's done then is he's gone through and curated these and basically made sure the configuration works. And in many cases, actually gone through. So, for example, I'm trying to find a gamer. So if we go to Doom here, for example, it will actually ask you when you execute it, like, which sound device do you want to use. And I know it looks a little grainy here, like for the DOS purist, I do apologize, because that doesn't always line up perfectly in here in the text mode. There are ways to get around that, and I think one of the biggest drawbacks for me from a purist perspective so far, and I'll show you here now on the action cam where Zoe is. Excellent. I'm playing my super villain here with my cat. So normally I play on a CRT, right? I'm playing on a 4x3 flat panel now. It's using the VGA still, but unless I'm missing something, so far the MiSTer does not do a great job by default outputting a good CRT signal that is immediately recognizable by the CRT. It goes really wonky. You have to customize it. I have hopes that there will be a native output option for video eventually. Most other things that you do on the MiSTer, like Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that stuff, it outputs the native RGB signal. So it's 15 kilohertz, whatever that the best video quality you could get out of the console. I don't think so far that the A0486, which is the name of the core, it does not do that yet. It does not output the best quality that it can on the VGA. HDMI is what you're looking at as a capture. So I'm running this at a higher resolution than DOS normally would, which, I mean, it works fine, but that would probably be the thing for the purist. But if you want a nostalgia hit, or if you're already interested in the MiSTer, this is just a bonus. So why don't we just play some Doom? See, I may have to set the sound settings. Some of these, this is basically just a batch file system launching the game, right? And some of these don't work without a little tweaking. And that's what he's working on. He's creating updates, this Flynn, he's creating updates available for everyone to download that contains patches and upgrades to fix the games so that they are playable. Some games run pretty sluggish on here because it's just, there's only so much you can do. Some run really well. So it's going to vary greatly. Yeah, I think on this one, I noticed that sound doesn't work in this default setting, so we have to actually leave here. And what we can do then, excuse me, once it quits the DOS here, and it will launch back to this menu. What you can do here is he built this, and I think this launcher is based on, why not both? I'll probably play that sometime too. I got to get that. If for everyone who hasn't heard, a remaster of Quake came out today. And I think MVG, or Modern Vintage Gamer, was one of the lead developers on that, and he's a really cool YouTuber. But they remastered Quake, and I believe just tons of cool stuff in there, like the Quake 64 stuff, all the expansions. If you already own Quake on Steam, you got it for free, the upgrade, and color lighting, and like ultrawide support. There's tons and tons of cool stuff. So anyway, this launcher is a DOS launcher, I believe, that then Flynn's Bit adapted for this purpose. But what you can do is you can actually look at what is running, but in this case we'll run the actual setup, which if you have played Doom, you're very familiar with the setup here. So last time I did this, I had to go through and set the settings again. So this emulates a Sound Blaster 16 or a Pro with an OPL 3 or OPL 2 chip. And we still use the word emulation. I think it's still apt, but there are a lot of things that may not line up with emulation in that sense. I don't want to get into emulation war. It's too easy to get drug into that. I would still call this emulation. I mean, it's probably is on the strictest term because it is, emulating the device. Is it software emulation? Not technically. That's the kicker, right? It's basically reconfiguring the FPGA chip to duplicate the output of the original chip in the device. Now, I'm a layman, so I cannot possibly go through the whole thing of how that works on the 486 core here. On the SNES and Genesis, things like that, it's a smaller chipset, right? But I believe right now this is as large as we can get on the 486 side. Like, there's probably not going to be a lot of, like, massive speed hops on this. That's looking unlikely, so... Exactly, Ted got it right. If you can play, doesn't really matter. And in this case here, you're now playing Doom then on a low-spec 46 or a high-spec 386, which works. It works fine, when you play it. Also, bonus, we are playing on a spitting disk. This here, because the image for DOS here is very, very large. It's a large size to fit all these games, including CD games. We'll get to that too. It actually is... Ooh, that's running not fast. I was running fast Doom earlier, and that was fine. Alright, exit out that, try it out. MiSTer 2, yeah. So it supports external drive storage, and I'm using a spinning disk attached to USB. So the entire DOS installation you're watching here now is actually sitting on spinning disk. So if load times are slow, it's, realistic, right? So yeah, here's where it comes down to. Some of these you have to tweak a little bit, and I think, so we want fast Doom, but then the setting was not pulling in the sound, oddly enough. I was trying this earlier, and then the game started. I think we probably need to leave the settings there now. Fast Doom. Sound Blaster. But it's weird when you launch it from here, the sound initialized. It did from the configuration or settings, but then, of course, launching the game from there doesn't run fast Doom. So we have to have Doom 2 or something too. And this is always evolving. Even Just Mike, welcome. The distro for this or distribution is always evolving. He's always adding new updates. Some games run great. Some are like just probably never going to be really smoothly playable on here. That's just not realistic. It will vary a lot. So yeah, now we have no sound again. I'm getting feedback on my mic. Oh. Let me see. I don't think I have... Let me turn down my gain a little bit. Maybe I'm just talking too loud or too close. Oh, I know. I'm very smart. We were setting the setting, right? Turbo is slow, so running with a slow clock speed now. That's why. Let me know if that's a little better. I can move myself a little further back, too. I might have been clipping on my microphone, so... I did have a problem last time we streamed. For some reason, in OBS, my microphone doubled up. Huh, interesting. I wonder if it's picking up the hard drive or something. Interesting. Maybe I'll turn on better noise cancellation. Let me, noise suppression is on, noise gate. That sound good. Alright, if it's a little bit of a hum, I'll test it again. I did a test recording. It sounded fine, but we'll see if it gets any worse. So I had set the CPU speed now to the slowest, right? So let's do this setup again. And then we'll do Sound Blaster 220, Sound Blaster 220, 7. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's probably picking up. I have probably, either it's just the sound of the MiSTer, the hard drive, or something like that. It's just experience the real retro computer thing by having noise. For now. Maybe it's a cat. There we go. Now we have Doom audio. I can't play Doom without Doom audio. That's kind of pointless. Well, here's fast Doom running then on the MiSTer, emulated, more or less, playing Doom. And, yes, you can play this on any number of systems or consoles or whatever, but now it runs great. So now I'm not entirely familiar with fast Doom is. I'm guessing optimization to run on slower machines. But in this case here, this runs pretty well, right? So, and you're getting, you know, not too different from what you would get playing Doom on a pretty low spec 46. There's a secret, isn't there? I'm gonna bait myself right now with the secrets and stuff. But considering what we're running on now, like the MiSTer is just a little tiny brick of a device, and here we're playing Doom on it. So, Doom runs on like everything. It seems like, you know, they have the pregnancy testing right with Doom on it. We're running with the max view screen too. And I think it's important to kind of put in perspective what this thing is, right? I have it mostly for the consoles and like Amiga and that kind of stuff, right? 46 is just a fun thing to mess with. And I think it was a few months ago, quite a while ago now, where someone figured out, yes, it can do, yes, it can connect and do that. You can use an MT32 and all that stuff. Someone actually made a hat for a Pi that runs a brick-level emulator to emulate the MT32, for example. So yes, it can do all this stuff too. The MiSTer can do, let's see, it's F12, there we go. It can do MIDI through, I can't remember where it is. It's in here somewhere, there we go. So the MIDI connection is through UDP right now, so I could grab, so what I use, I have a Surface tablet that I use for my MIDI emulation. That's what I've used in the past too. And that thing is, I didn't have time to hook up all the audio on it, because of course then you get audio output on that and it comes back. What you can do then is with this, you can direct connect through USB on the MiSTer a Pi, and you could run low-level, brick level basically. And when I say brick level, correct me, I think that the software is running as close as possible to the hardware. There you go. FM is classic, right? So running with the full like sound canvas stuff is definitely better on Dune than MT32. But the MT or the Pi, MT Pi, I can't remember what they call it. Yeah, that's Zoe purring. There you go. The brick level Pi there can run the sound canvas sound font as well. So it is a really cool device, and I plan on getting one and making a video on it at some point, because I think it's a really cool idea for some horrible all the secrets here now. So the funny part, I should try Doom 2. That's the one I'm even more familiar with. It sounds heresy saying it that, you know, you don't know Doom, but I played Doom 2 even more, because that was my first PC game. My first PC game. But yeah, the Pi hat is pretty cool, because it basically gives you a nice, like, single device, right? So then you basically use a dedicated Pi for that to be your MIDI synthesizer. And I think that's a really cool and neat idea. Yeah, regular Doom. Final Doom is on here as well. And there's a lot of games in here. We'll explore a lot of them. I just wanted to... Probably this is the most archetypical, you know, DOS game you can think of, right? It's going to be Doom. So, yes, that's a classic. And it's something you should probably play in more in CGA mode and stuff, right? So... Whoop, cat, she's... You're not helping here. Yes, she's purring now, so if you hear purring, that's her. Ooh, nice. So, I mean, I wouldn't buy this device to play Doom. That's not what I would call this, is the use for this, right? But the fact that it does is pretty slick. Or just that it plays a lot of DOS games. So if you have this, you know, I don't know, it adds so much flexibility and versatility to this, because then, of course, you can run Windows 3.11, Windows 95 on this thing if you wanted. I'm sure there'll be more speed improvements, but I think there'll be a limit to what they can do. Sooner or later, they won't be able to, when I say they, I mean all the awesome open source developers that are working on all the different MiSTer cores. I think there might be some more optimization to be had in this, but I don't know that we're going to get like, wow, that just doubled the speed. I think that's unlikely. Yes, exactly. So right now I'm playing on a PS2 keyboard, but it's hooked up via USB. So I have a keyboard and mouse here. See me moving. It's a flat panel right there. So normally I play on the CRT, right? And you see my little capture up there. But I had to plug in here. And the fact that you can use that in a PS2 keyboard and mouse with just a USB dongle is all I'm using. Just one of those typical, like, converters. It works fine. So I've been using this particular keyboard and mouse for the MiSTer forever, so... and the fact that it travels so well. Yeah, Duke Nukem's on here as well. I definitely tested it. You definitely are going to have to set your expectations. Yeah, exactly. And one of the reasons I'm using this keyboard, Christopher, is it matched my PVM, and that's what I had available, and it's flat. It's very flat. Yes, I want to get a mechanical here to enhance the experience, but you know what? It worked, and most of the time I'm using a gamepad when I mess with the MiSTer, not gonna lie, so... I got a red keycard, right? I gotta remember this game. That plays. But, again, I think the strength for this is probably more with older games. I did test Duke Nukem 3D. It's definitely more than 5, but you probably want to set your expectations and also lower the view screen. It's not a Pentium class machine. There's just no getting around that. It's just not powerful enough for that. So, Ian Bruce, welcome. Playing Doom on... Who knows anymore? We can play Doom on anything. I've seen Doom run on, you know, the... What do you... Like, they run it on fridges, and I don't even know anymore. Super secrets. Excuse me, you got gibbed. But Doom is just so classic, but... It's, again, you gotta consider what this kind of device is and what it does. For me, it's mostly just a console experience, and being able to mess with consoles... Aha! That level joke has entered the chat. It mostly for me is a exploration tool for consoles I didn't have or get a chance to experience. That's where I love the MiSTer and where it really shines for me. So, of course, I have many ways to play Doom on original hardware that runs a lot better than this, so... exactly. At least there's no lava right now that I can fall into. Hey! That's right, they ran Doom on everything. Didn't LGR do an episode on that? Where he ran the Doom on the calculator? Or was that someone else? Evening, Tyler Drain, welcome. Playing Doom. But the only real Doom is the one with The Rock and Paul Urban. It's the only real true Doom. I haven't seen that movie in years, but I did recall seeing the first-person section being really cool. I will give him that. Welcome, boss. We're just talking about falling into things, and you arrived right on cue. Yeah, there's that risk. There's a very, very high risk on that. Say, I haven't fallen into anything yet, but there was a very close call there with one of the barrels. So yeah, again, this is not the optimal way to run Doom, but I think it's more of a showcase. This is like running Crysis, you know, on this thing, basically, is pushing it. Or yeah, that's probably Duke Nukem, I suppose. We'll try that as well. But we're going to stick to a lot of the older DOS games as well, which I think run, you know, better and quite well on here than this does, so... Yes, falling was the thing, right? Yes, go for it. Clip it. Why not? Share it. That was the Unreal stream, wasn't it? That was literally the Unreal stream. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we were running across the bridge there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm really good with depth perception. I can handle everything, and then I fell in lava and died. So, I taunted the world, and the world taunted me back. It had a VHS released? Wow, I may have to... Is that like a collector's item now? Because that would be awesome to source, the Doom movie. I remember watching it on Acquired channel. I don't think I had it on DVD or anything. I think I got it on some sort of service somewhere. And, you know, to be fair, again, if you're playing... Then again, this is playing better than, you know, many of the console ports, right? So, I really enjoyed the, for what it was. I'm a big sucker for cheesy action movies, and that is one of the... Maybe not cheesy as much as bad. It's a fun, bad movie. But I did enjoy the first-person perspective section where Carl Urban is just walking around in Doom. Pretty good spatial awareness. Yes, I had spatial awareness fine in lava. Okay, so that's what I figured. Anything that's first or last is going to be collectible, right? And hard to find. That's a bummer, because that would be neat to experience, so... I bet he liked the money, though, but he was starting out then, right? He hadn't done much by then. So the movie came out was like 2005, 2006? See, this is why I tune in here, where you're playing Doom on the MiSTer. We're talking about the Rock movie. And there's no flashlight. What is really dark? I need to turn up my brightness. Ah. That's right, there was a commercial, and they forgot about that one pretty quick. Bill Gates, I think, is walking around in Windows 95 with a shotgun, isn't he? Am I stuck now? Am I really stuck? Yeah, that's the only one we're talking about. It's the Rock one, with Collarbone and the Rock. Alright, fine. We'll try Duke Nukem 3D now. You can see how the bad that runs. I wasn't intended to play Doom all night. I wanted to just show, like, how this runs on here, and Doom is a good one to start with. But we'll play a lot of different, like, I mean, I would say earlier DOS games run much better on this, but here, well, this is probably the most aggressive game on here. There are newer ones on here. I'm not sure entirely the purpose of putting these on, because a lot of them are not going to run probably very well. So this is going to be Duke Nukem 3D. With everything that comes with that. I set it to the low resolution mode, I believe. We'll see. On the fast one, it was literally Solar used at 5 FPS. That's probably a generous statement. It does not handle the high resolution, so. Damn, those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up our ride. It's a very bad Duke Nukem 3D. A Duke. It's Duke! Running on the MiSTer. On a spinning disc. Wasn't there? Yeah, that was a new Doom release movie, wasn't there? Like a recent one? Like a direct-to-DVD, direct-to-streaming? I only accepted Megadeth rendition of this intro. That is phenomenal. But you know what? Hey, it runs. It runs. Like, yeah. It's sluggish like hell here, but we can reduce the view field, right, and it helps. Screen size. I bet some people, we can run low details too, then it gets really nasty. I bet some people play the game like this. Yeah, piece of cake. I haven't seen that one yet, so... Yeah. So yeah, now we're running on Turn Shadows off too. So yeah, now we're really pushing the thing here, right? So this is playable now, but some people probably enjoyed Duke this way too. But I think in this case here, you may have to take the hit on the speed and run at high resolution. This is brutal to play this way. Come get some. I remember playing Duke and just like having so much fun with interactivity, so but it plays, right? And we're still playing on a MiSTer. We're talking about the thing that I use mostly for console emulation and playing, like, you know, SNES and Genesis and Sega CD. And it's playing Duke 3D. But, I mean, it can run Game Boy Advance, right? And Duke 3D came out on Game Boy Advance, too. There's that part. That's true. This is what Ted came here for. Oh, lights out. I don't think I've ever played Duke in this low setting. It's pretty brutal. Hopefully it comes across on stream because it's so... I'm gonna turn it back to the high setting and see how it does. I mean, it's still playable. I bet people play the game like this for sure. Like, I'm so used to being spoiled now There will be no Rick stripping tonight, sorry. So spoiled now playing Duke on a Pentium class machine, right? Which then Duke really shines. It needs a Pentium to really do well, I think. Damn, I'm looking good. Damn, this dude's awesome. It's, again, and I'll say it officially, I'm a big fan of you do you. You play the way you want to. I'm not a huge fan of the gatekeeping in the retro community or whatever. People like get all like, you can only play it this way or whatever. You know what? I like that there are options. I like that this device exists, what it does. I think it's awesome. Would I sit down and play Duke like this? Probably not. It's more of a interesting technological thing. You can play this on a million devices, and I vastly prefer playing this on original hardware, no doubt. But it is really, really neat and cool. Fire my shotgun. Here you go, Ted. It's your show. Who's shooting me? Let's see. We only have steroids. Yes, tinkering. That's exactly right. What is dark in this game, isn't it? Increase, right. I'll just turn down enough. There we go. Now I can actually see something. Yeah, I don't think I'm Duke level. LGR's got that one nailed, I think. But again, it's the tinkering aspect. You're right. That's what's so fun about this, is that they keep adding features and functionality. Damn, my brightness will turn out too low. Yeah, I mean, it's runnable, so, but that's the thing, is like, I'm not sure, I'm not technically savvy on what the MiSTer does with the 46 core. I just know that, you know, it works, and it plays considering quite well. But, it's not what I would get the MiSTer for. But the fact that it does, it's just a bonus, you know? You think about, yeah, exactly, that's the thing, and that's how I started too, Chris, is like, there's so many things you can do with it. You just keep finding things to mess with or do, and I mean, here again, we're playing Duke Nukem 3D on this thing. That's just this tiny little device. And they keep adding features constantly. There's new cores coming out. So, for those that aren't super familiar with the MiSTer right now stuff, so right now, the developer who made the Game Boy Advance core, which is super solid, and made the Game Boy core, I think, too, he has picked up the PlayStation core. So, probably within like 6 months, we'll probably see a full PlayStation 1 support on this thing, meaning you can play every PlayStation 1 game on this thing, and that's wild. And there's a Saturn core in development, so Saturn 1 will come out soon too, probably, and that's all already on top of everything it does, so the value proposition keeps getting better and better. I got balls of steel. Don't have time to play with myself. Yes, and that's the thing too. I have an Amiga 500, but being able to just fire this thing up here, ow, that hurt like a lot. Oh, being able to fire up the Amiga on this is easier and is very conducive for streaming or tinkering around or messing with. Like, even if you don't want to get too deep in it, it's a really fun way to just explore it. That's how I treat these things. Like, I'm not going to buy a Sega CD at this point unless I run across it super cheap. But it is really fun to just mess with. I know there's more secrets, but it's a very satisfying thing. But yeah, that's the thing, is like, it's, if you're just tinkering around, and especially looking at all the different things it does, that's SCP core. There you go. You can call it that, and no one will know what it is, right? So the fact that it keeps expanding and there's more and more to do with it.
Gonna rip him a new one.
Ripping him a new one. Yes, everyone comes here for the quality content. It won't linger too long on Duke, everyone knows it, and, you know, again, it's a passable experience, but probably not how I would sit down and enjoy this game. There are better ways to do that, obviously. This is not the device for it. But it is playable. You can play through the game like this. It's certainly better than the Game Boy version, which is pretty terrible. Or, again, impressive for what it is, but again, I wouldn't sit down and play the Game Boy version very long. So I mean to blow this stuff up here. Ow, took a shotgun blast to the face. There we go, jump Duke.
Come get some.
Noctropolis does not ring a bell, I don't think. Huh. There you go, well there, sounds like a hit. It's funny, it's like, especially having kids now, I am quite guarded on what they can do and play. Not overprotective in that sense, but I do, like, care what they watch. I don't let them just go nuts. I don't let them just pick whatever they want or play whatever games they want. But I remember also as a kid, I got access to games, and maybe because, you know, GTA wasn't around yet, and games weren't quite as graphic as they can be now. But I certainly have very little restriction on playing games, but that was mostly Super Nintendo, and, you know, by the time I got a PC, I had access to a lot more, obviously, so...
I needed that.
Ooh, I needed that. Oh, that's right, this is an actual full...
Get some.
Yep, this is a full kind of that kind of place. Yeah, games like this, you know, we got access to, so... Well, that looks like a hole in the wall. A bluey. What's this then? I'll just go to the bathroom. Fine. Alright, there's a secret here somewhere. See, I'm already getting into it, just it's certainly... unlocked. It certainly is fully playable. I mean, ow. Ambushed.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby. Ho, ho, ho. Now I have a machine gun. I have to say that in every... I'm probably messing up that code, but I gotta say it. Duke Nukem must die. Hey, that's me. Cool. Owie. I remember the game getting a little actually hard here now. Some health. Got a jetpack, but no health. If I die here, we'll switch to a different game. It's Duke, but like everything else, again, I try and just demo it a little bit and I get stuck in playing it because it's addictive. Don't shoot me. Oh, now I have a machine gun. Oh, I said... Yeah, someone can... If someone wants to send that quote directly in chat, they're the exact one, I would love to correct myself on that one. This interactivity, I think, is what was really cool with, you know, Duke. The fact you could do this kind of stuff. Is there code here? There we go. Like this. The fact that you had some stuff for this. Yeah, I sincerely regret not, you know... Just blew up a building. Because you made a phone call. Sincerely regret not buying some of these games earlier, right? Because now they're just astronomical in price. And it's unfortunate because I would like these games, I want these games, but not to the point of the prices that are going now. Everything retro now has just gone. Whoa! Holy buckets. That's fascinating. some problems still apparently. So that was a hard crash when I used the health pack. So there you go. Still a work in progress. Yeah, that's probably what's crashed, was it caused this thing to just go nuts. Now the cool thing is that you can reboot it really fast because it's the MiSTer. Yeah, sorry, I did not expect the audio to go bonkers there. Fortunately, my cap's not on my lap because that would have been terrible. So the audio got frozen there, but now here we go. We're back into 46. That's as quick as booted. So let's take another look. Let's play something a little nicer from one I had in mind. There, a little epic pinball. A little nice, calm pinball. With hopefully no sound explosions. Death by Health Pack. It is deep, deep irony. Amazing mod music in this game, by the way. Games like this run really well on the MiSTer now, because now we're not dealing with like 3D, you know, quote-unquote 3D graphics or whatever. But you're right, that's the truth of life. We had lots of blue screens and crashes. No denying that. Driver issues, and that's what they're trying to iron out in this one, so. So I mentioned earlier, but a awesome person called Flynn'sbit, I think, FLYNNSBIT. He's got a YouTube channel, and he basically compiled a DOS pack for the MiSTer core for the 486. And to basically bundle it together so you can download it as one pack and just slap it on the MiSTer, and off you go. That's it. You basically just mount these two. This is the boot image, and this is the one that contains the 300 games. And it's based on Exodus. He basically ran a tool to extract the game files from Exodus, and then he put them in this DOS launcher, and just kind of made it as streamlined as possible, so at the end of the day, when everything is figured out, you can just launch the games like this, and they just run. Like, he's working on fixing all the problems with them as far as drivers, settings, so that they are launchable like this. So I can just, if I have know nothing about DOS, put this on here, launch it, pick your game, go. That's it. And I think that's a really worthwhile endeavor to make it more approachable. I mean, again, I probably prefer playing on real hardware, but the fact that you can do this is pretty freaking slick, so. I'll start with Android. Yeah, this was an Amiga too, I think. It's got that just delicious mod music. Give the Android life. I'm also terrible at pinball, but I like the game. It's really cool. With this one, it's odd because I have one table. They actually sold the tables in boxes separately. Well, that was terrible. So I have the... You could buy the complete collection, but then they also had the tables separately in big boxes, which is odd. I have one of those, and it's the Enigma table. I'm focusing on terrible pinball, so this is going to be brutal, but skill shot, sure. And I don't know entirely why they did that, because that's a lot of production cost for, like, you could, then you have an entire, wow, entire box. I think I can find it here, yeah. So this is one table from this game, Enigma, and it's sealed still, but they were selling these. You can buy these for like $3 to $5 basically on eBay, even sealed, because no one wants them, I think, or they might have gone up in price now like everything else. But yeah, this is, yeah, you insert a diskette and type go when you're up and running. So it's a standalone disk. Yes, exactly. Enigma, Cybergirl, Deep Sea of those. And I don't entirely sure why they decided to launch or release them separately like that. It's an odd choice for marketing. I'm not sure what the entire like full box looks like. Welcome, Sukra. Glad you could stop by. Well, you're out on vacation, so don't stay too long. Enjoy your time off. How's that video coming, Sukra? Is it done yet? Are you done yet? No, sorry. Whoop, oh, there we go. And I'm not sure if it's just a marketing thing or common with pinball ones or not, but by splitting out the tables. I mean, I guess they do that these days too. With a lot of the pinball games, you have to buy the table separately, which makes sense. You're paying for the engine and then the tables, right? So maybe that was the intent. There we go. I'm doing a little better on this one. Yep, no problem. Everyone stay as long as you can or want to, obviously, so. Whoop. I'm just getting lost in these games here now. But now, it's like, yes, you can emulate this on 100 devices, so, the fact we are playing now on the MiSTer still, it's just a pretty cool bonus. No. And of course, you can install as many DOS games as you want on this thing, obviously, so that is true. It is kind of an annoying thing that you can't see the entire table. All these games like this are having to be scrolling, so yes, the Space Cadets, right, which is part of a bigger pack. There's like 3 other tables, I think, for that one. I believe it or not, that's actually... I have played this before, apparently. 3 in the morning. I appreciate you hanging out. It's early. I like the music on this one. It's really good. You may fire when ready. Yeah, you want to look it up. I can't remember. What is it called? Someone know? I think there is a bundle, basically, you could, I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, Space Cadet is part of a pack. It's one table out of a pack that has additional ones. I think LGR covered that as well. And the outer tables aren't quite as iconic, I think. And when it comes to the Space Cadet, I think all of us have wasted tons of time, because, I mean, of all the games that are bundled with Windows 95, that was, wow, pretty darn good. Full Tilt Pinball. There we go. Thank you. That's probably the right one. So that has the Space Cadet in there, and also additional tables in the same... Holy buckets! Good music, but I'm getting wrecked over here. We actually recently, wife and I ended up at a like an arcade. Oh no! Oh, beer place a couple weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun. Like, we haven't been out in a long time doing stuff like that, and that was a blast. Just having drinks and playing pinball and arcade games. And I was playing Castlevania in an arcade cabinet, like the original Castlevania in what appeared to be an original Nintendo cabinet, but way old, among other things. They had a ton of stuff, so... Yeah, we can check out some Wing Commander and see how it plays. Tyrion is also very good. I will definitely try that. I'm doing great. I want to try this table one more time. That was awful. Tyrion is really good. I do have Raptor on here on my list, too. I just kind of wrote a list of some games to try out on this thing, but I'm open to suggestions. Now, we'll say... Some of these games are in the bundle and some are not, right? So I probably won't be able to install any new games tonight, but I might. You can add custom games to this thing too, as many as you want. What the heck? Ah. Oh yeah, I had no idea about the full tilt until later. I just knew Space Cadet. I figured, oh my goodness. Too bad you guys won't be able to hear the music here, because come on. We also have, of course, the original side-scrolling Duke Nukems, which would probably run very well on this thing. They're all included. I think all the Command & Keen games are bundled in here. No! Tilt! Oh. But it just... Wow! I'm not doing so well here. Hi, Zoe. You're gonna scratch me now? Game over. I know, Cap. Last time you helped out. Terrified or not, there we go. Prepare for monkey troubles, yeah. There's Zoe again. So we have a new puppy as well, and he's upstairs now, but then Zoe's hanging out in the basement a lot. They're not fighting, but Zoe keeps her distance. I mean, she's basically retiree age, right? She's like 13, so she's not super interested in a puppy who wants to play really, really badly. And he comes up and barks at her and like hops around and play, and she's like, get away from me. So she's been hanging out in the basement a lot now, but so she enjoys it when someone's down here with her. All right, try one more table and see if I can do better on that, but we can scroll through the list too and just show you the breadth of games that are on Space Journey that are on here. So, channeling my inner Owen Wilson. Retro Cat. Space. The Final Frontier. Pinball. No! Ow! It's the game. Totally the game. Terrible game. There was one, what's it called? Balls of... Is it Balls of... No. Is it Balls of Steel? It has a Duke Nukem table. I really like that one. It was a really good pinball game. I gotta find that again, so I think it's a Windows 98 era game, maybe? I remember playing that and being really impressed, but it felt really good ball mechanics and all that good stuff. Hey, I'm not losing immediately. It's got one of those things in the middle there that helps a little bit. One pinball game I really like is Revenge of the Gator on Game Boy. It's actually really good. It's like almost like an adventure pinball game. Never mind. Balls of Steel, yep. I did enjoy that one a lot. I'm not sure what it was with it. I think I tried... What did I try it on? I tried it on a machine. I had really horrible screen tearing, so I kind of abandoned it at the time. Sorry, I'm focusing. I'll read chat in a second here now. No, Suka, this is pretty much just limited to... We can consider it like a fast 386 or a slow mid 486. That's kind of what it can do. No emulation of any advanced hardware. There's just not enough room on the board. Wow. Oh, holy buckets, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Cube would cause a lot of trouble, so... but yeah, I ran Duke 3D. That's probably the extent of what it can do. We ran Duke 3D with some settings turned down and a shrunk window. But it ran, so... I might put more... Sonic Spinball, yes. One of the benefits of the MiSTer there is you can CPU turbo, and that's not just an overclock. It actually, I think, increases... It sounds like I'm just making it up now, but it does a proper speed up without like breaking the timing of the game. And that Spinball greatly benefits from that. Although it makes the game considerably harder too. Hey, first place. Alright, let's try something else. And that is in here as well. So I did put the name on this one. Yes, Jackrabbit is on here. That one, I was going to play that one. But, so this has 300 games then, already built in. Some are marked, meaning that they're not going to be running that great. So, Pro Pinball of the Web. I don't think I've heard of that one, Tyler Jane. I have to check that one out. Windows 3.11, as far as I know, runs pretty well. So I haven't installed any of that stuff yet. I want to experiment. The cool thing with it is that since you can swap hard drives right here, you can just swap it on a different hard drive, right? So if you can preload a hard drive on a computer as an image file or something, you can just drop it on here and you're done. Like, and you can just swap out as you want to. And like I showed the other people here, this is running a spinning disk. This is a spinning disk attached to USB, so all the stuff you're watching here right now is on spinning disk. So, for the true experience, we're not getting any cheap load times here now, whatever. Yeah, Cliff Basinski, whatever, is in the credits on that one. But yeah, Got Abuse, Ace of Pacific, Albion, Alone in the Dark, Arkanoid. Ascendancy is a great strategy title. Battle Isle Classic. We have Blackthorn. I was going to play that one tonight, probably. And again, this is all that this guy, the Flynn's Bit, pre-compiled, and it's just ready to use. I even created an update script, so when he fixes it with like batch file updates, things like that, then you can just run the updater and it gets the latest updates and fixes games and everything. So in the beginning, when he launched this a few months ago, there was a lot of games that had some compatibility problems or wouldn't run, and it's just been getting better and better. There's a ton of stuff on here. Yeah, there's that. There's no Alley Cat. I think this tries to do, not a later DOS game, but at least, not that old, because Alley Cat was one of those CGA games, wasn't it? So yeah, all the Keen games. We have Command & Conquer, and Red Alert, Descent. I'm not sure how that would run. And these that are marked with red have compatibility issues and probably won't run very well. So keep that in mind if you see one. We got Dune 2. Of course, with Dune 2, you pretty much have to have the MT32 thing for sound. I mean, it's just so good. There's just so many games on here, just straight up. Yes, let's do Command & Conquer for now. I had it on. Command & Conquer is the one I actually selected. And Command & Conquer, it actually loads the ISOs for you. It now has full capacity to run, and this can network and play with a real DOS PC if you want it to. Full network. So yeah, you have to take Control F4 to switch between the mounted CDs until you find the right one. Did not have that? Oh, did it freeze? Or is it loading? Am I frozen? That's right. Reboots. See? That's where it's so cool just to now reboot, and here you go. Back in it. Simple as that. There we go, now it's running. That was a DOS reboot. Now we're playing Command & Conquer with the full CD support. I just keep getting baffled what this device can do. And the biggest thing is that we can emulate this. We can. No problem at all. But I think the fact that it does it on the hardware layer makes it more accurate. And I wouldn't want to say better, but especially on a lot of the platforming games where reaction time, things like that are key, it feels really good to play. And I mean, you're forgetting you're playing on an emulated device sometimes. Can we do the intro? Gotta watch the intro. See, full cutscenes, the whole shebang.
In Vienna was the 17th urban bombing in 4 weeks.
So if you do not have a MS-DOS PC or something, this is a great choice. I mean, I've seen people, what they do is they take a smaller mechanical keyboard. I love this when I was a kid. The full production quality of this ridiculousness was amazing. But what they've done is they built like a small mechanical keyboard and 3D printed a wedge-shaped computer, and they use this as a Atari ST, Amiga, Commodore 64, and DOS PC all in one. Yeah, the Pi 4 is really powerful, and of course on that one you can run things like Nintendo 64. I don't think that the MiSTer will ever get to the power of the N64. Just from the capacity on the MiSTer, I believe, what it can do. The D10 nano board, which has the Altera Cyclone 5 FPGA, I think. And one of the challenges, I think, is that I remember reading about this, is that one of the developers working on a core said it's not so much the space, because imagine the chip, right, has a finite number of pathways that you can program, and that's what it does, right? You dynamically program these pathways. And that room is limited, but since the D10 Nano was never designed for like high-speed gaming or gaming on that level, right? I think the memory access bandwidth, stuff like that, is a problem. It was never meant for that speed. So that's the limitation, is that until a newer platform that is more powerful, and for the makers of this board, they don't have a motivation to make that, right? So yes, the remaster is phenomenal. If you want to play Command & Conquer today, on a modern computer, the remaster is awesome. Just awesome. The remastered soundtrack is great, all of it. So I kick myself a lot for not buying the limited run games box of that one. I just didn't feel right spending the money at the time. It was the beginning of the pandemic, so... But boy, I wish I had that one. It's like Command & Conquer is one of my favorite games, so. Coming attraction. Now we get to see, I actually have a poster up here for Command & Conquer, yeah, this game, actually, so. I'm a mechanical man. I ate this game up. That's funny. Oh, that's... So this came out in 95, and I think Tiberian Sun came out in, like, 97 or 98. So it was not soon. I think it went through, like, development hell, if I remember right. It took a long time to come out, and it was not maybe what everyone expected when it came out. I liked it, but I felt that it lost a lot of its charm. It was too serious for itself. So... Oh yeah, they should do those too. There is actually... Someone has released a fan pack called Tiberian Sun Remaster. Well, I can't remember what it's called. Someone linked it recently. I'll see if I can find it and put it in Discord. But it was an amazing redone of 1999. So yeah, this was 95. Thank you, Solar. And 99. It took a long time, but I can't remember what it was called. But someone released a mod, basically, that had a fully new voice campaign with, like, hand-drawn cutscenes and a full redo of, like, the engine to modern 4K support and a whole shebang, completely free. And I think it was on... I check a site called Indie Retro News, which is a cool site. Let's see if I can find a link for it. Hi, Cap. See if I can find it here. Tiberium Resurrected 5.0, a large Tiberian Sun mod. Let's see if I can post links directly in chat here. If I have the power. There we go. That guy. Apparently I have the power. So, yes. Tiberium Resurrection 5.0. It looked like it was really, really cool and well done. So, I have too many mice here now. Yes, the installer for this and Red Alert are amazing. Not new missions, just regular.
Global Defense Initiative
Selected. They, behind the scenes stuff in the Remaster collection are amazing because they show, like, the lady who does the EVA or Electronic Video Assistant. They recorded in a closet. She was sitting in a closet with, like, towels on the walls. So that's the only sound booth they had back then. So,
We found a chink in their armor.
this guy passed away recently, unfortunately. I think last year or 2 years ago, maybe.
Right here.
It's a
You may
bummer.
get some artillery support from his gunboats, but this is mostly grunt work.
I think he was a jazz artist or something like that.
Knock out
He
all
did a little
fortifications,
this kind of side gig.
eliminate all
So,
non-troops, and
which is funny because he
establish
plays such a
beachhead by
cut and
building
dry,
a
like,
base.
you know, military guy here. But yeah, it's got all the cutscenes, the whole thing. I mean, when you're playing this, it doesn't feel like you're playing on anything except the DOS machine, and it runs really well. So, yeah, Westwood was a cool, like, end-to-end cool stuff, right? They tried to do ballistic stuff. Scroll ring insider. That needs to be a little better here, I think. There we go, that's better. Yeah, you're playing this on a mid 486, right? So it plays really well, and in playing this, it feels like playing Command & Conquer on a DOS machine. There's nothing, you know, doesn't feel like there's any concessions here compared to, like, with Duke 3D, where clearly you're not going to play it on full, you know. But yeah, Westwood is one of my favorite developers back in the day. I loved all their Command & Conquer stuff, obviously. I love Nox. That was a great game. But I'm sad never got a sequel and never expanded. But I think Westwood did a lot of really cool stuff. I have not played many other RPGs, but I feel I should play... was it Lands of Lore? Maybe? Their RPG series? Someone correct me on that one. This music is iconic. Yeah, I never played Renegade. I have the jewel case for it. I played a little bit, and someone I think was trying to remake the entire game called Renegade X, which is like Renegade in the modern engine, which looked interesting. I probably was at the wrong time for it or something. I was kind of over Command & Conquer at the time, but the concept of running around inside of the world of Command & Conquer is really cool. I think they had like the where you build buildings and stuff too, right? Which is really cool. Isn't this amazing music? It's rock industrial soundtrack. I used to listen to the music on the expansion pack. I would bring that with me in my portable CD player and listen to it. Corporate operations. Z, oh my goodness. Yep. It's, this game, I think, was pretty ahead of its time for what it was. I mean, it revolutionized real-time strategy, right? So, yes, the gold version is a big improvement on visual fidelity and everything. I like to buy that sometime, too. But this is how I play Command & Conquer. I played it on a DOS PC, I think 4633 at first, and then a P100. And I played it through on the P100 mostly. And then a friend and I kept the 4633, and my friend and I, after school, would come and play null modem against each other. So that was a lot of fun. And it's funny because the AI is pretty rough in the beginning of, you know, this is the beginning of real-time strategy games, really. Was the first one? No, not by a long shot, but it really kicked it up a notch or two. Music. Amazing music. And that's where the remaster, for those not aware, the remaster, Frank Klapacki, I said that wrong, Frank Klapacki, got his cover band called the Tiberian Sons to re-record full new versions of the same tracks, and they are amazing. Highly recommend just listen to them if you can. This is one of those games where you gotta find all the guys before you finish the mission. And I think they made this one because when the team at Westwood was done with Dune 2, they were going to work on a sequel for Dune 2, but they were so tired of making sand tiles that they made this instead. They made this whole new universe. Yes, that's right. You can build sandbags. What Just Mike is talking about is you can build sandbags next to each other. So you can keep building sandbags all the way to enemy base and block them off. So that's a cheat that was not fixed in a remaster, which I think is a cool thing. Yeah, on Christopher on Z, I have the box for that. I bought it when it came out because I was on a real-time strategy kick at the time. I was buying like every RTS game coming out. I wasn't impressed with that one. I vastly prefer games where you're building a base. I like turtling, I like building a base, setting a big army, and Z was much more of that kind of like hop around a lot and select things and hurry up. And I like the design of it, I like the style of it, but I wasn't a fan of the gameplay on that one, so I didn't get that far in that. 45% efficiency? We're at 0 casualties, come on. Oh yeah, his music is really good. He's made several albums on his own, so... Base immediately. Great shot. I remember reading PC Gamer. I lived in Sweden. Reading the US PC Gamer with previews of Command & Conquer, and it looked just so cool. I was just gaga over this game for the longest time when it came out, and yeah. This is one of the few games that I played just straight through. And I just played through the GDI campaign. My friend would come after school then, and we weren't fighting each other on the LAN, or the LAN, on the null modem. We would, he would play the NOD campaign in parallel, and we'd like compare the stuff, and I don't know.
So you know what you're dealing with.
Nostalgia overload.
This is Kane, the self-appointed leader of the Brotherhood of Nod.
That's true. Well, they drained Arrakis, right, and just exported sand. They ran out of spice, they can export sand. It just, nothing else really went this far with the cinematics and stuff, and Westwood became known for this with the ridiculousness too, right? Red Alert took that to the next level with the insanity and ridiculousness. But yeah, this is so well made, and I just got so sucked into it. And especially here now, playing it on the MiSTer here now, it plays like a DOS PC, but of course with the remaster you can play this very easily on a modern machine, so... Oh no! Repair!
Yes, sir.
I just built this thing.
Yes, sir. Reporting. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
But yeah, you know, cutscene's intact, the whole shebang. There's There's no, as far as I know, things that are concessions playing it on this platform. It plays just like a real thing. I have no power.
Reinforcements have
Yeah,
arrived.
very, very campy, especially, you know, Red Alert, yeah, super campy. That's kind of the charm with that, too. Especially you watch, what's the Red Alert 2 with Tim Curry or whatever, when he's trying to keep it together for, or is it 3? I can't remember now. He's trying to keep it together for, like, now we can finally go to the one place capitalism hasn't reached, into space! And he just loses it. It's hilarious because he can't keep it straight because it's so stupid. But that's what makes it fun. But I was, you know, interested in military equipment at the time too, so just this was just such a perfect timing and just amazing thing to do. Keep gushing over the game, but because games like this is where the MiSTer really can shine. You don't worry too much about 3D graphics, things like that. And again, I have plenty of retro computers that I would rather play this on, honestly. But if you don't have a DOS PC or don't have the room for a DOS PC, you know, this is a pretty compelling option to be able to do this. Straight up and down. Like, I want to play Command & Conquer in a more original format. Here you go. With the, considering that it does all the other stuff, too. Yeah, that's true. They had a star-studded cast. I mean, look at Command & Conquer 3. My goodness gracious. That one is a star-studded beyond belief. But then, yeah, James Earl Jones and Tabor and Son, obviously, and Michael Biehn, and Westwood is the top of their game at that point. They had, you know, all the cash, I guess, coming off all these successful games, so... Is it? I assume it's running DOSBox then, right? Or a high version of DOSBox. Because I know there's the Dospian, I think. Alright, thanks for dropping by, Solar. Have a good one. I'll hopefully see you next week. There's a fairly low level, or like a pre-done thing. Dospia. Okay, cool. I want to check that out before I got interested in the MiSTer. It looks like a cool thing, and the nice part with Dospian that Christopher's talking about is that it's just a full distro on a Pi that runs the DOS. So, oh, okay, yeah, you're probably not wrong. I did enjoy Command & Conquer 3. It was a fun return to form. So, just extreme nostalgia playing this kind of game. I'm sure those slowdowns. Alright, see you later, Solar. Ugh, cat hair. There will be some slowdowns in some spots with a lot of units on, I'm sure. But again, if you don't have a DOS PC, this is a cool thing to do it, so. Oh yes, that's right, Retrotech Chris. Or Chris, I should call you, I suppose. But there's a lot of really cool thin client stuff that will run DOS natively as well. A lot of those chips have support for certain drivers that will allow it to run and things like that. So it's a neat thing to mess with, especially since they don't take a lot of space. I think, again, it's all DOS on a real modern PC if you wanted to, but there's no drivers, of course, for anything, for sound or stuff like that. Yeah, I did several, so... But, Chris, you have a couple videos on that stuff, too, right? I know you... So, Chris is a YouTuber as well, so check his channel out for sure. Makes a lot of really cool videos. Come here, come here. Oh, yes, the AI pathfinding is just not great. That's where the game age comes through. The pathfinding is not great in this game. Hey, not cool, dude. Like they're not doing anything. That's when the AI from this era shines through a little bit here. Unit ready. Aha. That are another RTS that I was a huge fan of later on would be Total Annihilation. That one took me decades to learn how to say, I will say, as a non-native speaker. Total Annihilation. I used to, at school, sit and download the units, because Total Annihilation had new units come out
Unit ready.
frequently.
Building.
And it was awesome to download new units. Not a lot of our games did that, I think, at that time. Excuse me.
Unit ready.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Dropping nukes and ion cannon ready.
Reporting. You've got it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Unit
Attack.
lost.
No, they're not doing anything. The AL leaves something to be desired, yeah.
Acknowledge.
Like, don't drive right up there.
Moving out.
Building.
Reporting.
Yes, for sure.
Waiting order. Moving out.
Unit ready.
Yes, sir.
It evolved the formula really well, and then of course they made Dune 2000 as a remake of Dune using a lot of the same engine that is used in Command & Conquer Gold, which is probably based on this one, just enhanced. Dune 2000 is really, really good evolution of Dune 2. But it's definitely more complex. There's a lot more to keep track of, and it's a faster pace, and that's probably what made it so popular in the first place.
Building.
I mean, I can't think of any other RTS games that was like this quick, this slick, this intuitive, around this era.
Reporting.
Unit.
We've had Warcraft. I think Warcraft 2 came out at the same year, right? So I'm not sure if Command & Conquer or Warcraft 2 came out first, but they were definitely competing, so.
Unit ready. Building.
Ready and waiting.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Unit ready.
Humvee!
Building.
But I mean, I remember playing Dune 2 on like Amiga, and it was a slow slog because with Dune 2 you couldn't just click a unit and click on the map. You had to click the unit, click select, or select the unit, click move, and then move where you wanted, and then click the map, and then you gotta click the next unit. There was no, multi-select, any of that stuff. So this and Warcraft 2 were the first to come out with that kind of movement system where you could just drag boxes around, and maybe I'm wrong on that too. I don't think any other games came out with it before that. As far as I know, Command & Conquer and Warcraft 2 were the first to introduce that concept. Affirmative. Loads of stuff up. Cool industrial rock. Yeah, his website is phenomenal. I use that a lot, and I rely on that a lot. I like to build courses on my website. I'm not looking to duplicate what he's doing, not at all. But I would like to have a similar kind of build out of useful tools, things like that, and drivers that I use myself, so I can have a repository for them. For those not familiar, I do have a website, ricksrandomretro.com, very creative, where I mostly just post as a blog right now, but I'm hoping to build out more files, drivers, utilities, things like that, hopefully tied to projects I've been working on. But as everyone knows, time is the factor. Yes, Descent, I have a feeling it's not going to run super great on here, but we certainly try it. We might try a platform or something a little more simplistic after this too. Let's get some monies. One of those silos. Not going to blow them up, but I will take that construction yard, please.
Not building captured.
There we go.
Building.
I can build a hand of Nod.
Not building captured.
I thought I got the cash.
Construction complete. Not building captured. New construction.
Yeah, now I can
options.
build
Primary building selected.
mini gunners up here. Alright, blow that power plant up. With machine guns. Shoot it until it explodes. And, hey, we're still playing on the MiSTer. Just a reminder, right?
Our base is under attack.
Our base... Oh, that's those guys shooting up there.
Yes, sir.
Because now comes the tricky part. Oh, mission accomplished. I was going to say, I can find out. Stand by. Or are you talking about Descent? Okay. Because I have... Yeah. dive bombed the descent box on my cats. I picked it up and the sleeve popped out and the game box fell on the ground. The cat's like, "Cheese it!" So yeah, this is the floppy disk version of Descent. I was going to look at the requirements. There they are. Tiny. 386, 33 or faster, correct. 4 megs of RAM, hard disk required. Recommended 46, 33 or faster. So yeah, it should run Descent just fine. You know, as smooth as like a pension grade machine. Yes, I wanted to build the site to be kind of like a classic 90s website, so it uses a theme. And yes, I have clip art, and I have GIFs and junk like that. It's not all in on that, but it certainly has a lot of stuff like that, so I like that stuff. I used to have an under construction thing spinning on the front page too, but I took that down, so it was a little too distracting. It's a WordPress site, so it's fully modern, but it uses a theme like that, right? So, locating coordinates of next mission. I think we might be done with Command and Conquer here now, but we can try out Descent and see how that runs.
I know I promised more deep background on Kane and Nod, but there'll be time for that later. Carter says you hit the ground
Mission
running.
accomplished, yeah.
Nice job. Now we need that again.
There's cat hair everywhere. I brush you, but she's still
Somewhere
just...
in this section is a Nod base. It's protected against airstrikes by Nod SAM sites. Knock them out so Colonel Morelli can provide
Yeah,
air support.
I am a total
That should
website
make it easier
noob,
for you
and
to take
WordPress
out
is
the
nice,
base.
the fact that it's so, you know, simple
I'll
to
be
use
out of the
and
loop
build
for a
site
couple of
with,
days
so
due to
yeah,
civvy
that's...
time at the UN.
I like having a
Don't
website.
let me down.
It gives me a place to just write longer things and whatnot. Hoping to put more information, articles out there. The site is definitely not fully populated, but if you click through some of the stuff, you'll find, like, I'm trying to build like a collection of my big boxes, additional information on builds. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure if I can, I could have a forum, but whew, I think Discord kind of serves that purpose these days, right? So, because that would be a moderation thing and all that too. We'll save.
Battle control terminated.
Battle control terminated. Classic. And now it just goes right back to, yes, I have been posting several times a week with this stuff. So I usually post like the video link to my live stream after the fact. I post when a new video comes out. I post when something of interest is there, and it's probably no one reads it. I just like posting it there. I figured as I'm growing, is that it becomes my companion piece that goes together, kind of glues it all together, if you will. And above all, it's a repository then to be able to put more stuff out there. For example, if you go into the, I think the hardware section, I wrote an entire article on one of the builds I did. I find a link for it. I think it's on Random Retro. Yeah, the site needs a lot of work still. Yeah, there we go. I'll link it here now, but so here's an article, for example, I wrote, or not article, but I wrote it as a companion piece to the episodes where I restore that machine. I wrote it out in an article format. I'd like to do more of that and just have it as a companion piece, but time is always the kicker, because if I spend weeks making an episode or 2-part episode, then if I then sit down and write this as well, then it's time. So but yeah, I write on the main page 2-3 times a week, maybe, depending on what is going on. Yep. So I made 2 videos on that machine. One where I just kind of restored it, and then the next one where I use it and build it out. So, but I'm hoping to just expand that, because I realized that I want a repository where I can store stuff, and the hosting company I went with has no size limit. So I can dump stuff up there I want. Now, you can't just dump terabytes of data. It's not like that. But I want to be able to dump large files out there so I can have a repository. For example, I found the software TabWorks that I used to use on a 486. Well, there's hard to find that, so I throw it up there, right? So I'm hoping to do more of that and just add tools, like here's what I use the software for this computer, things like that. So, oh, wow. Holy cow. Very nice. Yeah, I never worked in this case before. It was an old fax or voicemail system machine, I think. That's where I got it from work. And they were just clearing it out. Like, hey, there's a few, like, these old white beige boxes here. I'm like, yes, please. So, let's try Descent. Of course, this support... you should only see this once. Okay. You should only... this is a good one for MIDI emulation and stuff like that, but I don't have that configured right now, of course, so... I haven't launched this one before, so... Oh no! They closed it. So the hard drive is currently working. So we're doing this from spinning disks, so... That's what I'm hoping to do, and that's what I haven't been as good to do with, is that when I work on a machine, right? I'm hoping to have, here are the files I use for this one. Because that can be helpful if someone, like, okay, I have the AST thing, right? I restore that. Okay, well, here's the restore disk for that. Things like that. Companion pieces to go with it. So if someone Googles it and they find that computer or that component, here's the driver that goes with it. You know, if I've hunted for it already, then maybe that can help someone. So yeah, the hard drive, you can't really see it right now. Let me see if I can... There. See, there's an activity light right there. Going bonkers right now. Not anymore, but I was reading the disk, so we'd actually are running this from spinning disk, so... we will do Sound Blaster. IRS? We can try. Very nice. I'm glad you decided to take the plunge. I think a P1 mid, like a 100 to 200 P1 is such a good DOS thing, right? To have. Gives you so many options on what you can do, and it usually plays DOS games so well and so compatible. Maybe one of my favorite like systems. And then of course what you're talking about, I'm guessing, is that particular AST one, right? Which I'm a huge fan of. I made 3 videos on it, and I stream on it all the time. It's one of my favorite systems because that AST, that same design, I had that as a kid. So when I found it locally here, it's almost like selling 2 of them. I'm like, whoa, hey! I only bought 1 of them, but that was the original owner. It came from a business, and it had 3 hard drives in it, so... There's Descent. We'll see how it runs. Yeah. Got it. Shoot things. Prepare for Descent. Ooh, man, I have to run low res mode. Woo. It plays, but then again, some people probably play it like this. It's pretty fun too. This is the high res mode. This plays so well on a P, you know, 166 that I have on the overdrive one. This game just is like butter, and you play this with the enhanced sound effect or sound canvas, enhanced music. It's the joy. Although this particular music here now is probably more iconic for me. You know what? Playable. Not fast, playable. And a reminder, again, we're playing on the MiSTer, so... Hello, Ethan, welcome. Playing Descent on the MiSTer. Right now, anyway. Oh, the K62 stuff, or the, yeah. I never had a K62 before, which is why it was fascinating for me to explore it, but it feels like a really good, like, range of machine. Seems like the people that had a K62, yeah, had them usually for a long time. I just had Intel, and not because it was, like, just a pure choice, so, like, I'm not only going to buy Intel. It's just what was available at the time, so... Dune Thrustmaster. I think that we can bind this to my joypad, which is probably sacrilege, but... so inclined. Evening Bokas Retro Stuff, welcome. Yep, that sounds just right. That exact type of machine. That's what I had in my AST Advantage originally, and in this one as well, until I upgraded this one. It just ends there, okay. Remember here on the map. That was always so cool with this. It's just such a get lost thing, right? That's the whole point of Descent. It's like getting disoriented and lost. Like, is it fast? Would I love playing it this way? No, but it's playable. I'm sure when it gets really busy with a lot of effects, it's going to slow down even more. It's not fast right now, but again, very playable. So yeah, what this does then is that you're basically set the MiSTer to run at a certain resolution. So the output resolution here is not really relevant to the performance. And that sounds silly to say that, but it's just what the MiSTer is outputting. So if I run it at a low resolution, that's more like the capped resolution or whatever. So right now, what you're watching is actually 1280 by 1024. And that's just what's output from the MiSTer on the scaler. So it is, you know, quote-unquote upscaling it. The MiSTer gets a little tricky on that, because then supposedly the VGA signal is the native signal. But they have trouble with, so far, the MiSTer or 486 core doesn't have good like default scalar output on the VGA part. So that's coming soon, hopefully, that they can do natively. You can't play this on a CRT very well without quite a bit of tweaking. So what I'm doing now, is you might have seen that when I switched to the other camera, I'm playing on a flat panel right now. So not on my normal CRT. So yeah, what you're watching is a 1280 by 1024 capture from the HDMI output. So with the HDMI output, you scale it any way you want, obviously, so. And the reason I do that is just so that my flat panel will play nice with it, so. But you have options, you can tweak it and whatever, but as far as capturing goes, it works quite well. I'm hoping to cover, and the reason, of course, that I mentioned earlier too, that I'm playing MiSTer now again, is that my MiSTer video that came out a few days ago has been very, very popular and just phenomenal response from the community. I'm just super ecstatic, so I wanted to Vulcan cannon. I always thought this was so cool. Minigun. I want to just play a little more MiSTer. We'll go back to regular classic computers here probably next week, but for now MiSTer was kind of fresh and wanted to mess with it a little more. I haven't played much with the 486 core because, I mean, most of the time I'm playing, you know, on real hardware, so this is probably not, you know, I'm not a target for this here, but the fact that it's on here, and it crashed. Sorry about that. Either I clicked something wrong or something I did not like it, and in my hastiness to, I think I moved a whole bunch of stuff around. Sorry about that. Oh, welcome, Mr. Walrus. I really appreciate you've been very supportive. Of course, now I broke my entire stream layout because I got so freaked out by the sound there. Stand by as I recalibrate. I ain't sure what the heck I did. That was Descent 1, yeah, until it just went haywire on me. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. That was amazing. So that's cool. You know, neat. I just decided to go completely haywire. So that one, that is totally a real CRT. It shouldn't. It has a big fan on it, so it should not overheat. That's the basic intent, so. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I managed to click a button or something. What I'm running here, MiSTer, is... MiSTer. I guess Walrus. What should I call you? But I'm running the Exodus pack, or the Flynn's Bits 300 pack or whatever. So far we had Duke 3D crash and a Descent crash, but I am running just the default settings, so let's see what the heck I did here now. I really borked this one, didn't I? Whew. Goodness, cats. Yeah, so I have the analog I/O board, which has a fan on it, so that helps it a lot. It has a little heatsink as well, so I'll say Walrus is what I should call you. All right, I think I did the overlay. Sorry, I just got so thrown off by the ridiculous noise there. Sorry, Tyler Drain, if your cat freaked out again. That was not my intent. Yeah, so far we played Command & Conquer. That was fine. We played Doom. That was fine. Duke 3D then crashed when I used a health pack, or a med kit. and then this crashed. But I haven't messed with this pack at all, really, so far. So maybe we'll do, we had a suggestion earlier for Tyrion, right? A little nice shooter. There we go. There's Tyrion. I don't think so. I haven't messed with it, so... Need some sound again. There is sound. Maybe. Nope. Or just... Yeah, that's the thing. I think it needs a lot of work. I think it's really cool that it's there, and I'm excited for the prospect of, you know, if someone's not into DOS, being able to just launch it and be done. You know, that's a really cool prospect, like a lot of the other packs. But it definitely needs a lot of tweaking. And, I mean, I feel like the 486 core is really pushing it to begin with, right? So, alright, Lucas, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. We all gotta work. I work tomorrow, too. Sad face, but... Feels like a lot of these earlier DOS games run really well, so... Very nice, yeah. That sound, I mean, it sounds so good. Do you use the Pi for that, then? For the MT32 stuff, or do you use a real hardware one? I use a Surface tablet, actually, for my kind of FM emulator machine, if you will. I assume there's music in this game, right? Maybe the sound setup didn't work, so let's try that again. Setup. Ooh. Oh, it's FM sound. Yeah, we don't want that. Sound Blaster with AWE. AWE not found. FM sound is right. Yeah, alright. Sound Blaster 16. Tenchim, yeah, sure, why not? That's us, right? Yeah, that's weird. It's like no audio playing. Music. Huh. Yeah, sad. Alright, we'll try it anyway. I know that Raptor had music. Huh. Yeah, I really do want to get an MT32, the MT32 Pi. Yeah, that's so unfortunate that the music isn't working. So yeah, like Mr. Walrus said here a second ago, is that this pack does need a lot of work, and some things, excuse me, just don't work that well. That's unfortunate, because I know Epic around this time used just phenomenal, like, mod music, so... it did actually restart from that crash. I can again, though, because you can just do this. Boop, restart. Simple as that. When you're at this interface, you basically now have cold, or not cold, but you have restarted it, so... And then just launch back. Like your memory, and boom, you're back in. So... Because, yeah, he has tried to work and get all these synths. Yeah, Sound Blaster active. Maybe it doesn't like the OPL 3. We can try the OPL 2. But this is mod music, right? It shouldn't really matter. My goodness, cat hair everywhere. Easy. Yeah, it really, really does. Yeah, it did. So you're hearing the sound effects, right? It's the same one. I probably have it a little low now, but I didn't have enough space for my mouse. Planning. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. A game like this needs the soundtrack. A space shooter without a soundtrack is kind of eh. So that's the thing. I think a lot of these need a lot of tweaking. And of course, you can do this yourself, too. It's just, I think that the prospect what this pack can provide in a turnkey solution, I think, is important, almost feels like, for the platform. Like, I have a real DOS hardware, so I enjoy playing on that. But having the option for someone who's not super into DOS or doesn't have original hardware, transparency is struggling there. It's a neat idea to have it just available like this. It's just a pack to install. But yeah, I think that the pack has come a long way, right? But it probably has a long way to go still, too. But it's kind of... Playing a space shooter without this music is just kind of dull, isn't it? The rocking soundtrack on a space shooter is, like, so important. It feels like, too, with all these things, like, being community-driven, right, there's... I mean, I'm super excited about the PS1 and super excited about the Saturn stuff, too, coming out soon hopefully. But all community-driven, it's awesome. Some things just go slower than others, right, so... Well, this is cool, but it's really... sad without the music. It's really bizarre, too, because... It found the Sound Blaster, I'm pretty sure, so... We can try with the OPL2 and see if it likes that better. Oops, that's the wrong one. OPL2. And then we will reset. There we go. Yeah, it's very Amiga style, so... Of course, we can run with the sound canvas. I don't have it hooked up now, so... Nope, no music. Yeah, the mixer's turned back up, but right now it's just, Oh. Is it really, really quiet? Maybe. That might just be bust. Let me see if I can...
Good luck.
Is there an audio volume in here? There's no settings in here. That's bizarre. You gotta run the setup for that? It is super quiet. Thank you, Tyler Jane. That's weird. This is super, super quiet. Someone has better ears than I do, that's for sure. Yeah, it's weird, because I look at my equalizers or the volume meters, right? There's nothing in there at all. There it is now. Alright, well, thanks for the tip. Now we have sound. That makes that game worth playing. Did it carry that setting, though? Did it? I don't think it did it? The music is there. I don't want to crank the... Is there really no... Front gun, please. Can I upgrade the front gun? Because I have nothing. Multi-cannon. Vulcan cannon. Sure. There we go. Now we're talking. Done. Play next level. Oh, I should have gone to options. Music, alright. There we go. I'll turn down the sound a little bit so I can actually turn it up. There, my speakers are behind me here. I had to kind of do a jumble setup here to... Alright, now at least we have sound. There we go. Oh, it's such an Amiga. I mean, it's got like, you know, Chris... Well, maybe Chris Holzbeck did this music. It's got very Turrican-type music. Very Turrican-style music. Terrific. Alright, Tyler Jaden, you're the savior of the evening here now with music. I said, like, music, or not having music in a space shooter just makes it so flat. That's like half the character. I mean, I love shmups. I'm not great at them, but I love the music and, like, you know, your Gradius, Axelay, and all those kind of space shooters. There's amazing music. Picking up money. And I'm a huge fan of, you know, upgrading ships and stuff. One shooter game, if you haven't played it, I recommend. It's kind of ridiculous. It's called Jets and Guns. It's a side-scrolling shooter. It's like little steampunk style, but you fly a little spaceship that just shoots like machine guns, and you can upgrade your ship to the most ridiculous degree. It's super fun. It's not switched down, too. And they actually, the music in that is from one of my favorite bands called Machine Supremacy, which is SID metal. They use the C64 sound chip SID to weave in with their metal, so they call themselves SID metal. And it is really good. It's like cat hair everywhere. I can get rid of it. Zoe. Definitely has some slowdowns here and there. And again, I would play this probably on my regular DOS PC and enjoy mobbing more there, but the fact that this does run like this is still pretty cool. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, Walrus, Mr. Walrus. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support and, you know, positive stuff coming out of the video. I was not expecting that kind of retweets, sharing, and stuff like that. It's fun when you make a lot of effort, put a lot of effort into the video and it's received well. I've done several videos where, you know, they're niche and they kind of just, that's it, but it just makes me really happy. It makes me want to make more stuff, so. Won't always be MiSTer stuff, for sure. I like a lot of retro stuff, but I'm, of course, quite passionate about the MiSTer platform, so. Whoa. Actually playing this with a controller, but the mouse makes it so easy. Easy, I should say. I'm going to crash immediately now. Again, this is just kind of bonus, right? Even if you're not super interested in the 486 core, you can still do this, so. And again, we're running this on spitting disk for true authenticity, aka I don't have a big enough SD card in this thing yet. Uh-oh. This is where it's going to end, probably. At least it's not a bolt hell shooter. I'm not a fan of those. I respect for what they are, but I don't enjoy them at all. So, where like they just throw like walls of bullets at you, right? Not a fan of those. Impressive, impressive, super impressive people that can handle it, but I cannot. Some of my favorite shooters might be Soldier Blade on Turbografx and Axelay on Super Nintendo is one of my all-time favorites as well. I love the atmosphere. Whoa, that's not cool. Well, that was abrupt. Generator. Shield. High energy shield. Thought I'd buy that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of all the games that are like upgrading and stuff like that, and you know, going that route. I'm not a. So the generator gives you more power, I see. So I selected the item I want. How do I buy it? Okay. I'm probably good at this game, probably. Can I upgrade the gun at least? Try a different gun then. What's this do? That's pretty cool. Although the Vulcan, I'm a big fan of like high-powered front. I'm gonna try that. How do you buy it? It makes no sense. I don't have cash for that one. Shield. You fly a carrot? Well, that makes no sense. It's just silly. Ooh. This is data on information. Okay. Alright. We'll try that one more time. Yes, choice is good. So, oh, I got that thing. Now I got like a high-powered... There we go. High-powered forward. That's what I really like. I'm a big fan of the games that give you like a very strong central beam and stuff like that. And if you like shmups, I do highly recommend just checking out that Jets and Guns. It's hilarious. You can upgrade your ship to just a ridiculous level, and just a billion different guns and tons of small stuff you can blow up. It has a very Amiga feel to it as well, but it's side-scrolling, so. But yeah, I'm a big fan of shmups, so. I blew up a rock. I know you guys are giving me tips in chat here now. It's hard to glance over to chat at the same time. These games require a little more focus. Get the cash. I like these games where you can progressively just unlock. I assume you keep your money and everything, so. Approaching enemy platforms. Don't like those guys. You can't destroy them fast enough. Extreme Amiga vibes. Wait, I don't know that Amiga would be fast enough. Maybe on the AGA chipset to play a game like this. Or maybe it came out on Amiga. Who knows? It's got kind of that chunky graphical style, so. Yeah, it's a very subtle title. It's heavy metal and guns and blowing stuff up. A lot of stuff. You can wreck almost everything in a level too, which makes it even more fun. So by the end of the game, you're so overpowered, you just wreck everything. It's super fun. The main thing in that game is you have not only money, but then heat generation from your weapons is a huge part of the game. So how much you generate and dispensing of that heat through like heat sinks and stuff like that. Good game. Good classic shooter. Those guys take a lot of hits there for being just soldiers. The one thing with this seems like you don't pick up any power-ups in the stage. They're all just bought, which can be cool. But it's also fun to get some stuff in stages too. It doesn't look like that has any of that here. Don't claw me, dude. Intercepting enemy aircraft. Whoa! Low bridge. That probably was good for something there. Oh, okay. That's an arcade mode. Of course, I played in the campaign mode, but I should have played some of these like DOS shooters like this that have campaign modes with this kind of stuff. It's really cool. I see that thing here now. There's a lot more like direct damage than my little spread blaster, right? So way more direct damage. Try and not get slammed. I think he just ran into me last time. It's not cool at all. Yep, like that. Oh, just like that. Dang it. Maybe we'll try the arcade mode. Start a new game. One player arcade. Okay. Easy, please. Gotta try it now. Got a different ship and everything. Ooh, there we go. Ah, and there we go. Classic shooter stuff. There's been a lot of attempts to make, like, the ultimate shooter, if you will. Oh, yeah. That's more what I was expecting, but it's cool with the campaign mode. It gives you something to work at, you know. So you guys get to see me blowing up over and over here now. We can switch game. I did make a list of other games as well, just to try a few things. But yeah, the list, is, of course, is very, very long with games in this particular pack. And you can install these manually, too. You don't have to use the pack. I just thought it was a neat thing that was already pre-done for you, more or less. So this because like arcade is a little heavier, but I guess they're giving you more upgrades right away too. Way more. Okay, you want to focus on the middle. I feel almost handicapped in games where I don't have like a full strong blaster. Like I want to be able to shoot something right straight on, right? And actually wreck it, if you will, directly. And it's frustrating when I have to like dodge a whole bunch of stuff. I can't just direct fire and blow it up. Yeah, that's what I wonder too. Transparency probably adds. There we go. Oh my goodness. Power. Unlimited power. That's what I want. I want to be able to point at something and it explodes. I'm a simple man, so. That's really slowing down with transparency, you're right. Because, I mean, there's probably a lot of calculations that it can't handle. But I don't know that we'll ever get that layer of performance, or level of performance, on the 46 core, right? There's just not enough space on the Cyclone, I think. It's always the thing that seems to come up a lot, too, is like, oh, well, I don't want to get on the MiSTer because there's always going to be a new one coming out. And I don't think there will be a new platform for a long time. And even so, everything is portable, basically, with the language we're writing it in. It's Verilog, right? For the hardware stuff. That can be translated and moved to a new platform in the future, but if you look at some of the newer platforms, like, you know, say N64 or even newer, the complexity of those is ridiculous. So the chance of getting cores for that, even if there was enough space, I feel like it's going to be so far out, because who's going to develop that? It's going to be so hard to get to that point so they get that development going. So I think the device is amazing for what it does now. Anything else we get is just kind of icing on the cake at this point, but it seems like I see the argument show up sometimes that, you know, oh, I don't want to get in on it yet. Wait for me. Alright, we'll focus all my fire in the middle here now. We were saying something about bullet hell? Well, that was a little easier now to have the full upgraded, so... yeah, that's the thing. It's like, who's going to take that on themselves? I feel like, you know, maybe someone eventually, but that's a lot of work, so... yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Saturn core. I never had a Saturn, so I'm really looking forward to exploring the library. It makes me feel like I have a Saturn, but I don't want to buy an ODE now. I'm just going to wait for the core, so... yep, that's what the weapon will do. That was a huge difference. We got the dual shot up. I get to hear the cool music, too. Yeah, this game is a little more fun in arcade. I understand the grind to kind of get stronger and better in the normal story mode. But this, you know, more what we're used to, right? Oh my goodness. Say, one of my most classic, like, favorite shooters got to be Soldier Blade on the Turbografx 16. That's just a really, really... feels like the best that system has to offer as far as shooters go. Nice. I don't have a modded Saturn or anything. I just would play the few games I have on it, but it's hard to get into or invest in a new retro platform these days. Like, getting into something different now, or buying something now, is just crazy. Like, you know, I'd love a CD or something, but just the investment required to start out on that now is just not worth it. When I can just do, especially on the MiSTer now, I can experience the library without hunting down non-insane prices, which that's getting harder and harder. There's a lot of stuff here. Ah. My shield keeps taking hits. An asteroid shooting at me? There is a lot of stuff happening, right? My goodness. Well, those side shooters are pretty helpful. Okay, slash key. pushing the wrong button. Got the Vulcan cannon. Those are little tanks. They look like little guys riding. It's like, wow, they really take a lot of hits. Yeah, those asteroids really are shooting at me, huh? Yeah, this just oozes Amiga, doesn't it? We got the bombs. How are you, gentlemen? They set us up the bomb. I misquoted that probably now, but it's also classic. I feel like a lot of things here just take more hits than my weapon can dole out. Mega cannon. There we go. Now we're talking. Mega blow that up. Whoa, hi. I have a mega cannon too. That is a lot of shots. Say it. My mega cannon should make mega short work of him. I think stop by, Sucra. It's a late night. You go enjoy the rest of your vacation there. Yeah, I saw that. The picking up the PlayStation 1 core. I'm super excited for that too, because I didn't have a PS1 at all, and I'm really excited to explore that library as well. I messed with it on a Pi a little bit, and it runs really well. Sorry, no beer tonight, just soda. But it plays it really well, and I actually use just a configuration. Ho ho ho! Now I have a mega cannon. I use a HDMI to component converter, and then use specific configuration on the Pi, and you can actually output a signal that your CRT TV can recognize with some caveats, because HDMI has problems with the timings for that, but it's possible. You don't need the Pi hat to make it. I can't remember what it's called, retro Pi or RGB Pi, something like that. iRGB. You don't need that to get output for that. You just need a DAC and some specific configuration in the Pi, and it does work. But it has some caveats, but it does play PS1 games just fine. But I'm excited to do it on the MiSTer since of the accuracy and all that stuff. So it's awesome that FPG Asm Spass has picked that up. So, and it's a great. For me, the MiSTer is awesome at peripheral systems in the sense that I'm not super invested in, for example, Sega CD. I want to play the library, but I don't want to spend a lot of money on getting all the equipment and upgrading and fixing it and recapping, and you know what? Here you go. MiSTer just plays it. And for me, that's close enough to the true real experience. I don't have a need at that point for the hardware. If that was your console of choice and you were younger, you had nostalgia attached to it, I could see, wanting it or whatever it might be. Each reason is valid, but MiSTer is so great at that. Excuse me. Let's see. Yes, it has lemmings for sure. Let's play a little lemmings. I know I could just hop there, but actually, we need to play one game first before lemmings, and that is the pinnacle of DOS. And you'll see what I mean with that. It's just terrible. Here's Mega Man on DOS. I gotta remember where the fire button is. And also runs too fast. So. Whee! So we are going to set the speed appropriately, but this is horrible. If you guys have ever seen, so yeah, the Mega Man PC port is just awful. It was like made by one guy, and he didn't even get access to the source material from Capcom. He just like make the game or something. It was just terrible. So it's pretty bad. What I'm sad about is that the Mega Man X one is also pretty bad and it should have been better, but I actually watched a speed run on. There we go. I don't think you can actually outrun this guy. It's like literally impossible to dodge damage. And you can't kill him, I think. You just gotta run. Did you do some of the Mega Man X? I don't remember on the history there. There was a speedrun of this very version on PC with the CGA at Awesome Games Done Quick a couple years ago, and it was hilarious to watch. I would highly recommend checking that one out. But yeah, you just gotta damage boost your way through here. The game is just, yeah, it's Dynaman. Whereas now it's actually reading from the disc, right? So it's pretty terrible. Whee! It's like, you know, things like this where they given no deadline, nothing to help them, nothing. This is Mega Man. This is the epic one that everyone remembers, right? Sorry, I'm using the gamepad now. It does support that. I knocked something over. I hit something. But the speedrun is hilarious because they go through a little bit of the game too. But yeah, this has been covered, I think, at great lengths. I think they made Mega Man 1 and then Dead 3. And same guy. And then Mega Man X, the MIDI sounds good. It's pretty funny, too, because I'm a huge fan of Mega Man X it's one of my favorite series, and the X on Super Nintendo is so good. It's just so good. And then the DOS version is certainly playable, but I think the default MIDI soundtrack is not as good as the Super Nintendo one, to say the least. Now, with a good, you know, sound card, it probably sounds better. But yeah. But yeah, there's a awful games block of the Awesome Games Done Quick segment, which is really, really funny and played really, it was like, they played like Super Highlight, I think. It's also a terrible, terrible game, but they make it fun, you know. I can't believe I dodged that. I can't believe I made it this far. Come on. As far as I understand, this game is just like, it's actually not that hard to beat. You just kind of plow through it and then you win, and that's it, so. Let's play some Lemmings then, which is probably a little better. So we have Lemmings, and we have Lemmings 2. We'll do original Lemmings, because that's a classic. Lemmings with ad-lib. Oh, yes, please. Oh, we have high-performance PCs. Haha. Awesome. Great, wait, I can't wait to check that out. So I stream music in this game, whereas my F4 is... I have a mouse. Can I use the mouse? No audio. It's having some trouble here. It doesn't like this. There we go. Whoa, the, that is loud. Turn it down a little bit. Oh, okay. And does not like the video mode on this one, apparently. Boy, yeah. This one is not looking promising here. There's gotta be a compatibility problem with this guy. Alright, sorry about that. Try something different here. We'll see what other settings we have on this guy here. We have CD music. We can try one of the other settings here. Those are PC compatibles. See if it runs better now. There we go. Okay, so that setting was just not good. There we go, now it plays. I just didn't like that fast PC mode. I don't know what that actually does, but clearly nothing good. Absolutely, yeah. I have streamed before, but I have a Pentium 166 that I use, and I have a batch file prepared for tuning the speed on it. Boing. Nice. That's funny because I played this on Super Nintendo. My brother played it a lot on Super Nintendo. So in my mind, that Super Nintendo music you get in between, that's what's ingrained in my mind. But then my neighbor had it on Amiga because everyone played this on Amiga. It was one of the kind of like selling titles for the Amiga. Was Lemmings. And Lemmings is one of those games you can just lose endless amount of time on. Did he get that one? I don't know. Nope! Oh, it was a little dink sound when he splatted. I think it's basically emulating the PC speaker now since the sound chip is being used for the music, so... Interesting, PC Engine CD. But yeah, it is very Genesis-like because it's, you know, OPL, it's Yamaha chip, right? So, which is what's in the Genesis. I don't know if this has Worms or not. I'm not sure if it does. Worms, of course, is a super classic game. Played it with my cousin, and I hated playing with my cousin because he was so accurate with just a bazooka. Like, I would be trying to, and for those who haven't played Worms, it's like a, you know, physics shoot at each other with little worms. And you can have a lot of, like, guided weapons, but you can just shoot a regular bazooka. And he was so good at that. He, like... Okay, so let's see here. And he shot and it curved back and hit me right. Like, oh man. I don't know how he did that, but... Alright, this one we gotta use blockers for. Huh. Fascinating. I may have checked that out. So, PC Engine CD... Oh, you mean the version of... For Lemmings, got it. Very nice. Yeah, it's cool that you have games like that that were released in other territories or regions, and you can play them without a huge language barrier. Some of them are, right? But then you get to the text-heavy ones, which make it impossible without knowing the language. But I think we get to do our favorite little thing in this one here. Oh no, what's gonna happen? I just realized I'm wearing, like, the band t-shirt to the concert. I got a t-shirt with my own logo on it. Right above my own logo. Chillin'. I played the Super Nintendo version probably most of this, and my brother played the Super Nintendo version a lot. So the sounds from that were really in my brain. The hollow-like sound when you increase the speed. I'm a little far away from the microphone now, but I just get so excited about playing these games I forget to check my audio levels. But now I get to do the favorite thing here. But yeah, this run's great, of course, but this is more like a 286 game, I think, right? I mean, it's so old compared to what the MiSTer can do. You don't get there. Oh no! The Amiga had. And that's where the Amiga really was such a good, like, console or a computer for the era with the kind of games it had with the multimedia capabilities. I don't think anything else had the same kind of multimedia capabilities like the Amiga did in the mid-80s. That's why it was so revolutionary. Let's go. Classic. This is a very valid way to play this, but you can also play it on, you know, your Amiga, your SNES. I assume Lemmings was ported to, like, everything, ever. That's what it feels like, anyway. You can't see which guys are getting the thing. Wait for them to come back. And we have 100% save rate. This is tutorial levels, obviously teaching you how to play the game, with what skills or whatever you should use for each situation. So, yeah, basically, not wrong. It was ported to virtually everything, I think. They made a remake and a quote-unquote modern on the PSP, I think. Like, they remade the whole game in 3D graphics. And there was that terrible, like, 3D version fully on PC later, too. And that was not... I didn't play much of it, just a demo, but it was not very good. Can you do it again? Probably not. You need a bashers this time. Yeah, the music's pretty iconic with this ad-lib here now. Dig. Dig me hearties. I mean, Lemmings was almost a phenomenon at the time, right? I mean, it was just huge. Just took off. Like, it was just the puzzle and combination of everything was just so great. The nice thing with the MiSTer there, of course, is that you get very, very clean output on audio and all that good stuff, right? So... Come on, dig. Oh! There we go. You dig. Keep digging. Keep digging. Keep using this here. There we go. Alright, we're through. Ooh, nice. I have to try that on my Tandy as well. I have a Tandy 1000 SL. And maybe you know, Chris, is Septandy, is that on this year? I haven't heard anything, but I assume it is. It's kind of like a standing thing now, right? I wasn't sure if I should make a Tandy video or not, so I feel like I should, but... Cat hair everywhere. I say it's well, puppy, and then it's a corgi, and I think they shed a lot as they get older, so I'm looking forward to that. Nice. Yeah, Lemmings just feels like it's definitely, you know, older game in that sense, so... Lemmings 2, yeah, the Tribes. I have the box for that one, actually. I don't have the box for Lemmings 1, but I have it for Lemmings Tribes. Here somewhere. That's somewhere. So Tandy is happening, okay. Alright, so yeah, I just bought the RGB to a VGA converter, so I can capture some Tandy footage from my Tandy directly, so I'll have to work on my Tandy video then. I realize I've kind of set the bar for myself now with the MiSTer one. I kind of feel like I need to make that kind of production value now on my videos, so still was fun. Sorry, you're the sacrificial lamb here now because I need to make a hole. Yeah, we got Septandy, we got December. See if GPU June comes back next year. This is March, Mac in March, whatever. Yeah, we're already September here almost. A couple weeks here. Yeah, I better get cracking on a Septandy video, but the adapter will be coming here soon, so... yes, so that RGB to, or CJ to VGA or whatever, the kicker with that, it does not do the 15 kHz to 30 kHz translation, but data path that I use for capturing handles 15 kHz just fine. So, I should be able to do that. Marchintosh, there you go, thank you. I should be able to do that straight up by just plugging the Tandy directly through the adapter and then VGA into my data path and then capture directly. I use a data path E1 card. That's the one that Retro RGB recommends for capturing because it's so versatile. It's an internal PCI Express card, and it just takes like almost everything. Almost everything. In this case here now, this is the MiSTer records out with HDMI, so I don't have to use a converter or capture for that, just a regular capture card, HDMI. For VGA then, yeah, I use a data path for everything. I have a KVM under here where my computers are hooked into, and that feeds to my computer then the output on that directly into data path. So there's no translation happening, I don't do any converters. I don't do any scalars. All of it is data path raw capture. And it works really, really well. So that's what I'm hoping to do with the Tandy then, with that design, or that thing, so. Evening Fold Fresh, welcome. So, for component, I have a StarTech USB H3, whatever that is. And that works, that was way too late. I needed to build it sooner. Think you can make it? Maybe you can. Oh, you could. Alright, I wasted one. Oh well. Mist Gust? That's a little forced, maybe, but I don't know if it's going to be a MiSTer specific one. Seems like most of these ones have been, like, retro computer focused, right? So I don't want those guys to fall to their untimely death yet, so I'm just going to keep using... I think we're safe now. There we go. They're just going to have to walk on little nice staircases there. And the only one I've partaken in so far is that, okay. StarTech app, that's what I use. I have that StarTech as well. What you're watching right now is from the StarTech, just HDMI. But that one does component, you know, composite and all that stuff too. So that's kind of my go-to. I have it with a modded software, or a modded driver that allows it to capture 15 kHz signals. So, which does work, and it works for DOS as well, but not very well. The 70 Hz. The data path is just a killer on all the DOS stuff and everything. It just takes every signal I give it, basically. So it seems to me, at this point, if you're coming in blank, I can't recommend the data path highly enough, because it just takes every signal you feed it and does it great. You can use converters, too, and capture component with that, too. I know that's what Retro RGB does. He uses that, I think, data path for all his captures, too. We compounded the de facto retro capture card, almost. But the nice thing with the data path is that since it does that VGA natively, you don't have to do any conversions at all. Just slap it right in. Yes. If you don't find one or buy one with a bracket, you will have to do that. So I have a friend with a 3D printer, and he printed that for me, so it works. I might splurge for the metal bracket. You can send off to buy a single metal bracket that would work. So that is a possibility as well. Not as complicated as it looks. Well, yeah, I just need to block him. There we go. Problem solved. And yeah, with the data path, I think that just wherever they came from in the video industry, wherever they were used, and the original cards are expensive. Like, they were expensive new. I think like $1,000. The fact that we can get them for under 100 is pretty much a steal. They came from, you know, salvage things or whatever. Oh, we need to destroy you. So they came off them without the brackets when you buy them today cheaply, so that was worth it. So yeah, that's the thing I've had with the StarTech as well, and after I got the data path, that just solved all those problems. It is fiddly, because you have to use different softwares and tweak the phase, and there's a lot of messing around with it, but once you have it tuned in, it is just crystal clear. So, oh, I didn't look. First, we need to block here so they can't go into that thing, which will probably destroy them. Oh, one got... Whoops, sorry there. Just dig through. So these puzzles get harder and harder, so... yeah, exactly. Yeah, the data path is just so versatile. You know, it can capture so many things. But for me, from a retro computer perspective, it is just phenomenal, because it just takes all the different weird resolutions and everything. You know, yes. If you're going to buy a capture card now to do VGA, it's DataPath. I can't think of anything else. Now, I will say, I bought the DataPath E1. I believe the E1S, the really only difference is a higher bandwidth capacity. So you can't capture, like, you can't, like, record, like, 2 windows at the same time with the E1. Since I captured mostly retro resolutions, I was fine with the E1. If you want to future-proof yourself, the E1S is probably the better one. They do make a dual-head one too, but that one is really expensive now, as people have caught on. But the E1 is what I have. I don't even have the S, so... Oh, this is not going to end well. I don't want to do this so long. Oh, they're all falling to their deaths. Oh well. There we go. Maybe Lemmings got hard now. I don't like Lemmings anymore. It's not fun. Whoa. I didn't go so well. Ah, I selected the wrong one. There we go. I know. It's terrible little splat they do when they land. It's just heart-wrenching, but... Yeah, it's just... That's what's so sad in the Super Nintendo version, when they go, oh no, when you do the mass detonation. This is brutal. I don't know how many there are, because I might run on here. Alright, so it's 20, yeah. I misclicked there, so we lost a few lemmings. So was, you know, to save a few lemmings, you gotta murder a few lemmings. I think the Lemmings on Super Nintendo was like a launch title, wasn't it? Really early. I have memories of it playing very early. And also it seems like it used kind of the early soundscape, if you will. Right, so this one you cannot build through, so we need climbers. I think we just need to send 2 in, and 1 can dig through. And we need... Now we need to fall. So you get a little tricky here now. Now you get the honor of digging through here. No, don't climb. Oh, you... I don't remember how long the climber lasts, but... Hopefully the umbrella works again. It does. How long does it last? Alright. Thanks for stopping by, Retro Tech Chris. I really appreciate it. Oh, it's... Oh. How's that working out there, Mr. Lemming? Hey. Hopefully he has the umbrella still. Yep, he does. Alright, he'll come back. I can't miss the dig now. I appreciate you stopping by. It's really fun chatting. And hopefully I'll see you next week. I gotta get working on a September video. Alright, let's see if we can time this now. We'll switch to a different game after this. Lemmings can get one of those games you keep going forever. Alright, I am going to get the right digger here now. There we go. See, that was easy, right? Yeah, it's getting late for sure. Everyone's got to work and everything, so we're going to play for a little bit longer here, but... Of course, I say that every time we keep going and going, so... There, let my people free! I will die, so you may live. Oh, that's just brutal. Oh, hi, there you are. I haven't seen you in a while. Oh my god! You just exploded! Great sound. Never gets old. Yeah, this game is one of those that it's addictive because you kind of want to optimize each stage, and it has the mixture of like kind of reaction time for these situations and also strategy, right? So we're going to lost one guy there. Very nice. All right, we're going to try a different game here now. So the cool thing now is we can just see, can we escape? Yeah. Exit to DOS. What? We'll just reset. Hey, he's really committed there. Let's see, I had a few other games on my list here. Let's do, Jazz Jackrabbit. Also, amazing music. No, it does not have, like a built-in... You have to use whatever save function that's in the game, right? So, that's pretty much it. If the game doesn't have a save function, it operates like a hard drive, so you can have a save on there, but... Yeah, we'll do easy. Turtle Terror. It's funny, I was not playing platformers in this era. I was on consoles for that and, you know, played other games on PC, but I wasn't seek out platformers, so I didn't play... really like your Commander Keen and this stuff and Duke, and I didn't play any of these, but this of course has a very Amiga vibe to it as well. But the fact you could get like, you know, smooth scrolling on PC was not a given, and that was like id Software basically. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but there was id Software did a demo with Mario running in DOS with smooth scrolling, and that just was found, I think, recently. And Nintendo said, no thanks, we don't want you to do it. But they used that technology then, I think, to work on the Commander Keen games to get smooth scrolling, because DOS games in general just, you know, there's no built-in frame buffer to do scrolling and all that good stuff, so it has no built-in function, like versus Nintendo or Super Nintendo has like built-in smooth scrolling, right? But DOS is not, or DOS PC does not, so... So I probably would have loved this game if I would have played it originally. But alas, I did not. All secrets, and it's a good platformer. And again, phenomenal music. Rabbit stink. Has there been a revival of Jazz Jackrabbit? Doesn't feel like there has been. A little surprising. I guess I'm not sure who owns the rights, if it's still Epic or not, and Epic's too busy printing money from Unreal, so... Or Unreal Engine licensing, and their new game store. Well, he really hopped fast. He's a bunny after all. Jackrabbit. The gun. It's a unique character design, colorful. It's a really neat game. It feels like everything has a retro revival these days. I'm almost surprised we haven't seen a renewal or revival of Jazz Jackrabbit as well. Maybe there has been one and I just missed it. This would probably be one of those games where you could, you know, at least show your console-owning friends a little bit that there are some platformers that are good on PC at this era. I mean, DOS. I suppose this is later, too. I mean, came out later than, you know, your Keens and stuff like that, so... Who knows? I'm just pulling things out of my behind now from what I remember, not what I've verified. But yeah, the holiday versions are awesome too. I love the fact that they do that. Missiles. Ouch! Whoa! Yep, Cliff Baczynski, right? For those not familiar there, Cliff Baczynski is the then creator of Gears of War series and that kind of game, so started Epic Mega Games, I think, right? So he's prominently featured as one of the creators for this one in the credits. I think that the thing that really throws me off on a game like this, and as does Sonic, is just the speed. It's really cool. I'm just terrible at like reacting fast enough, right? So that's what happens a lot, is that I end up missing jumps or missing out things I should have hit, or get hit a lot, and that's why I'm just not very good at Sonic. I like the slower pace, not slower pace, but more methodical way that that Mario is. Very slow in its momentum, and that's what made it easier. I always had trouble with Sonic. It's just so flippin' fast. Get off my lawn. Stick with the missile, I guess. Oops. Keep changing the weapon. That was not my intent. Oh, ads for this game? I don't remember at all. As far as ads go, I think I just tried a demo on a PC Gamer disc or something. Hang on, I keep pushing the wrong button now. Ow. Turn to dust. Back to the beginning. No fuss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I played a shareware version on one of those like demo discs or something. That's so much fun on those demo discs. I had I think my sister's sister's boyfriend at the time, he worked at a bookstore, and they were getting these magazines, right? And they would just basically throw away the magazines. All right, thanks so much for stopping by, Mr. Walrus FPGA. Appreciate it. See if we see you next week. Otherwise, have a good one. He would get these magazines that they had to basically throw away when they didn't sell, and then, or they sent back to the publisher. But they did not ask for the cover CDs to come back, because that was just an extra shipping cost. So, absolutely, we'll stream more MiSTer in the future. I like the platform, to say the least. This actual platform I'm standing on. Haha. Let's say. So he would like, when he come over and visit, he's like, hey, you want these demo discs? And I'm like, oh my goodness, I still have them. Some of the first like demos I got access to on PC. I had Heretic on there. And that's how the first time I played Heretic, things like that, and that was just amazing to me. Funny crack. Whee! Can't get out that way, can I? Trying to keep track, but yeah, I mean, back then, this was again later, but smooth scrolling was not an assumed part. Good evening, welcome. Too bad the time zone difference there is pretty severe, so often when you're joining, we're almost wrapping up, and this is the way it is with international, right? So we're gonna stream for a little bit longer here now, but we are playing on, whoa, flying up in the sky apparently. We're playing DOS games on the MiSTer. But yeah, it's very Sonic-like, so this is Jackrabbit for DOS. I don't think Jackrabbit came to any other platforms, did it? It was just on DOS. And that's where Epic was making their games, was on MS-DOS, so... The levels are so large, little arrows to show where to go. Yeah, tomorrow. Alright. Yeah, you really should load up some games on the 46 for sure. Appreciate you joining. Thanks so much, and see you next time, hopefully. It's a really fast and crazy game. Maze-like now. That did something good, probably. Funny, I'm walking around in the house, like I come up from streaming now. Our puppy sleeps in our room, and it's like dog everywhere. I'm not used to it yet. I love it. It's super adorable, but I just not used to walking in a room. It's like, oh, this smells like dog in here. I just thought his gun looked like a marker or something. Collect all the gems. Oh yeah, that's right. Now we get a little real Sonic inspired here. God, the music is amazing. Again, remember that we're not playing on a real PC now, right? We're playing on a MiSTer, so again, this is all emulated in that sense. It's pretty cool, because it gives you the option of playing games like this on this device, even if you just get it for the console stuff. And Chris, the Sega Saturn is definitely coming here now to the MiSTer fairly soon. They've already gotten games to boot on it, straight up on the MiSTer. So the same thing that will play all your, you know, Genesis, Super Nintendo, Nintendo, all that good stuff is coming out soon to MiSTer. It is a Corgi. I can find a little picture of him here. He's pretty adorable. Good camera. Let's see. There you go. There he is. It's Kirby. And yes, he's named after the video game character Kirby, obviously, so. He's pretty adorable. I never had a dog before myself, so. And he is already crazy. So. But he's fun. A lot of fun. Kids love him, so I just love chasing him back and forth. When he comes running in the hallways, he's like, dum, 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 like a freight train. He comes barreling down, running into me and stuff like that, so. Now we're just trying to, you know, teach the kids to, like... He's really into eating wood chips. We're trying to get him to not eat the wood chips, so we're getting, like, getting the kids all tasked to pick up all the, wood chips in the yard and stuff like that. Like, why are you eating that? But he's teething now, I'm sure, so he's chewing on everything. That's what puppies do. Thanks, guys. He's quite cute. He knows it, too, I think. Well, yeah, it is really Sonic-like, isn't it, huh? Didn't need to go there. Oh, not again. Goodness. Alright, here we go. I went to the same place. Alright. No! I'm dizzy now. Like Sonic all over again. Turtles. Again, I'm surprised that Jazz Jackrabbit has not been revived at all yet. Maybe, but I think they'd be... Everything's gonna revive. Like, you know, let's say... Because you have... Oh! Where's the exit? Goodness. 3D Realms is back, right? And making a whole bunch of renewals or retro stuff and... Whew. Yeah, this is a platform you could show off for DOS, right? It's actually, you know, good. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you want to play this with the Gravis gamepad if you can, but I think if I don't have the joypad bound right now, but this will be a good one for joypad, obviously. I think we're almost done with Jazz Jackrabbit here. We should finish out with a different game here, maybe. We have some larger games too, like, you know, Massive Ryan and stuff is on here, and that plays quite well too. So that is a heavy-duty game. What's this little freaky here? My goodness. Hopefully no one's getting any seizure stuff going on here. Boy, its level are massive. Woo! Launcher. I'll just stick with the, yeah, of course, you can install any, you know, DOS games you want to on this thing, but in this case, using this pack is a nice way to just get started. And one The guy who's making this pack has, worked some more on it and added more stuff to it. It's just going to keep getting better and better. Blinking background is not very fun, is it? Tight platforming here too, but it's kind of slippery controls. No! He moves really fast and far every time I tap the button. Like with Sonic, he's got a, again, it's kind of like a wind up to build his momentum. He just goes like 0 to 60 immediately, this guy, so. Alright, we got there in the end. There we go. Like, I think that a remaster of this or something with all the Jackrabbit games on Switch or something would do quite well, but like everything is a retro revival, so I'm a little surprised we haven't seen this. Alright, take a break from Jackrabbit, look through the list. I should just go back to the menu. Straight up. Oh, there we go. We got a lot of the stuff here. Yes, you certainly can run Windows 3.11. You can run Windows 95 on it too. I think it's just, there are some drivers for it, but it is pretty generic components that it shows up as, I think. But yeah, and of course, having multiple mounting options like this, you can just put on a new hard drive, select that one to your Windows 3.11, right? And create a new hard drive. You just create a new empty ISO on here or a VHD file, which you can create on your computer, drag all the basic files you need for installation, and mount it here. And for those that didn't see it in the beginning here, we are running on an actual spinning disk here. So this is running pretty hot now. That's the entire thing uses external storage. So yeah, in this case, we're running on an external disk. So it's just so flexible what it can do. And that's what's so cool with this, is that there's so many options of things you can do. We got Heroes of Might and Magic, obviously. Not sure what Hexam would run on this, but we have Mega Man X there. But one that does run quite well when I tried it. Although the thing with Dark Forces, right? It's all licensed Star Wars music, and Star Wars is insane with their copyright stuff on there. So I would turn off the music to play that, which is a little sad. I think if I tried to, I have Monetization on here. And if I tried to play that game, it would probably flag it immediately, as with all the X-Wing stuff. But got some other cool stuff on here. They've added quite a lot of different games, and there's a ton of them. And the ones that have red on there is kind of like warning they may not work, right? So, Lemmings Chronicles, Lion King, Oregon Trail, of course, Settlers 2, fantastic game. Theme Hospital, I don't think will run very well on this one. It will run pretty slow. Oh, there we go. One of my favorite games, like of all time almost. This sounds phenomenal with the MT32, but I don't have it connected right now. But yeah, there's a lot of favorites on here, and the fact that it's just workable like this. You could download this pack and just smack it right on here, and you got this playing. That's it. Yep, Syndicate, I think, is on here as well. Works great. Transport Tycoon the Deluxe is a high point for me as far as the game goes. I love that one. Building a Transport Empire works really well on this thing too. This one you can play with the Open TTD, which is a new open source interpretation of this game. So maybe not as fun to play this like this, but the option is here. But it's a heavy game, so it takes a while to load. The hard drive is spinning like crazy now. It's got really good MIDI music. Hi, Zoe. She just wants attention. We're trying to give her attention too, even though the puppy takes a lot of attention. It's sort of funny because he follows her around. And he does the stamping his paws and ruff, ruff, play with me, and she just stares at him like, get away from me, you kid. Too busy being old and grumpy. But yeah, this is probably... this requires a pretty beefy 46 to run well. There's a lot of detail, a lot of stuff, and the simulation needs to run, and it's not an easy game to run, I think. In this case here, it is pretty heavy to load up. And it doesn't run super fast, but it's playable. Very playable. N0210. Or 90201. What's the country? Country, huh? It's got a great little jazzy soundtrack. Oh, it looks exactly like me. Perfect. There we go. Solid. But yeah, it's still playable. This is a very, very fun game. If you like business management sims, this is just a blast. But it certainly is not running super smooth on this one, which is to be expected. I mean, we're looking at, you know, 33 to 50 megahertz performance-ish, realistically. Maybe not the best game to finish up on, but here we are. We might play a different quick game after this, too. Syndicate is on here as well. One game I want to try, actually Wipeout, is in this collection. And I'm not sure how well that would run. I'm curious to try it. So we're going to try it after this. After I build one railway. Like oil somewhere. Oil makes a lot of money. But we need oil. And... say oil and refinery. I think there's true connection to the original. There are a lot of original devs that are back, I believe, and they're making sequels to their original games. And as I understand, they're pretty heavy on the simulation, and pretty deep. So I think true Microprose is back, as far as I understood it. So, you know, take that for what it is, but that's a pretty exciting development. Ooh, there we go. There's oil right there. When a trade station here should be able to accept like everything. Nice. For anyone who hasn't played this one, it's basically a transport simulation game where you're building different level 3. I want a big station here. Like big stations, I cannot lie. A transport empire simulator where you're basically building railway, trains, or do not walk on the power strip now, Zoe. Zoe! She's like way under there. So if I lose stream right now, it's because she walked on the power strip. We're good. I don't like it when she's walking down there. And you guys manage your transport empire. Yes, correct it was. I will show. So I was testing that. I was prepping something else for another stream, and then I realized I wanted to stream the MiSTer again, so I switched to that. But I was testing something with Wipeout, and yes, Wipeout was released for DOS. Perhaps not what people would expect, but nobody expects to wipe out DOS. There we go. We will build a train. Some oil tankers. 5, why not? This game I can lose hours to. It's just so fun to manage. Choo-choo. And this plays quite well. Like, again, here's the option for this, right? But yeah, that's the way I took it. Don't quote me on that, but I could have sworn there was a lot of original devs coming back. It was, I mean, it looked like a real revival of Microprose, for all you know and love, if you will, from the originals. So, are we carrying anything? Yeah. Whew, 6,000 liters of oil. Oil is a very good way to make money in this game. Jing! There are livestock around here. So of course, I get in the zone immediately playing this game, so I won't linger on this one, but it's more to like showing that it can do, and this is such a fantastic business simulator game. If you like any of these like mid-90s business things, is it really? Maybe it was. I mean, that's the thing. I understood it that it was actual devs that came back, but I should not be quoted on that, for sure. If nothing else, they are reviving their old stuff. And as I understand, especially like the carry command and one of the other ones they released is not like a streamlined modern game. It harkens back to their original stuff that was pretty deep and advanced. Like in this case here, this was developed by Chris Sawyer, which I'm not sure, did he actually work for Microprose, or was it just published by him? Or by Microprose, because I got the box for that. That's Microprose Strategy, so it was under Microprose, I think. Designed and written by Chris Sawyer, so I don't think that Microprose developed this game itself. Let's try Wipeout. Let's end on Wipeout and see how well it runs, if it runs. It might not run. Oh, no, it's got a big warning sign on it. Dang it. Oh well. Let's try another heavy game then. It was Hexen was on here, wasn't it? I want to see something later. A racing game would be nice. Supercars International. Street Fighter, of course, but I want to see something heavier running on this thing. Vector VL. I got a suggestion earlier, Star Control 2. There's a melee mode in there with fighting against each other, which is really, really good. I'll try that sometime. But yes, we have SimCity and SimCity 2000 is included. We have Shadow Warrior, which that would be kind of like Duke 3D. So Screamer I tried. That ran extremely well or poorly. We can try it. The red mark is a warning sign that to kind of stay away. So let's try and see what happens. I don't know if that means that it's broken or it just has massive problems or not. There we go. We'll end on an adventurous note. Hey, you were right about the music, so maybe you're right about this one too. I can't remember if there was... So Wipeout had a big deal about the music. Club music from the 90s, right? And I'm not sure if this game uses licensed music. If it does, then yeah, I'm so. But if it doesn't, then it was a big deal. The music in this, I think, was a thing that made it really get popular in Europe. That was a PS1 launch title in Europe, and that was a huge deal to make the PlayStation feel like a mature console. Like the British clubbing culture and Wipeout played right into that. Okay, but can you play the game? Does it work? Does it crash? Press enter. Not fast. The CD or the drive is, yes, the aesthetic is amazing. Whoa! I think we got our answer. I would say the rendering is not up to par here, unless the driver's on drugs. But yeah, the spinning disc now is actually because you would get quicker load times. Yeah, it looks like we're not having much luck here. Like, it looks like the renderer is just basically horked altogether. Yeah, I can't render at all. So, good game, everyone. Good game. Good game. Whoops, yep, the thing again where it just crashed. Then the audio goes bonkers. Sorry for any cats I woke up there. Let's try Hexen. We'll finish on Hexen. Regular game that is a little deeper or heavier. There's a lot of really cool ones on here. Of course, Monk Island and all those Micro Machines. Yep, that game. Jill of the Jungle's on here too. Indiana Jones. Heroes of Might and Magic. Also a great game. Yeah, I was trying it on the P166, I think. And that ran just fine. It is... I think it has... So, let me see. There's a YouTuber called Control Alt Reese, and he covered the... I would have sworn he covered it. There's a ATI-specific version of Wipeout. You can run that, and the ATI-specific acceleration mode is an accelerator that only worked on specific ATI cards. Like a ZIF thing. They were trying to do a proprietary accelerator in the beginning of the accelerator wars before Voodoo kind of swept everything. And you can run that with that specific accelerator version. See how this runs here now. punch some stuff. Pow. It's pretty dark, isn't it? Options. More. No, nothing. Can we adjust that in the core settings? Nope. This is a dark kind of game. Which certainly doesn't like the wide open areas here, but it's playable. Yeah, we're running this on the MiSTer, so there's that part. Not the best way to experience it, but playable. Oh, kind of. Transparency seems to really kill it. Anyway, Wipeout has full acceleration mode, I think, for support. That's true, it is moody. It's funny, too, because, you know, we kind of get spoiled now. Ow, don't shoot me. That we can play all these retro games on usually pretty overpowered machines now. And really kind of run, you know, full speed and everything. But, I mean, I played 4633 was my first real PC, like the first one we bought for me. I had a hand-me-down, like a 286, which I dearly wish I had now, but we threw that one away, obviously, back then. But the 4633 SX is what I played a lot of my games on. That's what I played Dune on first, Doom 2. Played Transport Tycoon on that. I played a whole bunch of stuff on it, and then upgraded until much later. So, thinking back to it now, the games probably ran like this, you know, that's what I expected. I played Dark Forces on that all the way through. And I do that now, and it's like, ugh, that's not great. Because we're so spoiled and be able to play stuff on a full pension class machine, which is way more powerful than what I would have had for these kind of games back then. It was fun to experience the original intent, original experience from these games when they came out. Often you did not have the most powerful. I mean, some people did, but I certainly did not have the most powerful machine right away. Can I punch it? I can punch it. I feel like I want to do stream Hexen 2 sometime. I haven't played that much at all. The game intrigues me. Maybe I'll stream that someday. So little time, so many games I want to stream. Oh, do we have to do the door thing? Come on, open the door, please. Whoop, 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 whoop. Little Zoidberg run there. This fighter is just a jerk to all this really intricate stuff here. Very nice. Yeah, the 66 megahertz feels like the DOS PC, right? A 4666 was so iconic, and like you got to experience so many cool things with that, I bet. Boy, transparency is not playing nice with this non-math coprocessor emulation here going on. Shoot me! That's right, there's a green key down here somewhere. Or I have the key, I'm just going to find a door. Yeah, it's very moody. Now, of course, that new Quake thing came out today, so I gotta try that out, too. Play it on CRT, obviously. Quake Remaster came out today for anyone who's not familiar with it. Which is cool. Very cool. But yeah, the 4 to 6 era was a little magical, because now, I mean, if I'm gonna actually enjoy a game, I'll probably play it on a Pentium in general. Again, that's why I think the Pentium... No, I'm saying that wrong, probably Pentium. Whatever. You know, 100 to 200 is such a just a solid DOS machine. It just will run everything well, and it's probably the best pick for like one DOS machine. I think today is a P1 150 plus. You know, 120 to 166 to 200 does so well. Put a ISA sound card in there, and I mean you're golden. You use a silver key. Fine, can I punch some people? So yeah, there was a full remaster coming out. Not a full remaster, I shouldn't say that. A remaster, or yeah, fixed up version of Quake was released today. And it's only $10 unless you already own Quake on Steam. You get it for free. And it includes cool things like, again, with the crushers. Or crusher fetish here. Like ultra-wide support. It includes all the expansion packs, including the Quake 64 campaign. You can buy all this for $10. And it uses advanced lighting and stuff like that. Enhanced, there we go, yeah. I don't want to say remastered, that implies that it was, like, redone. But enhanced. And one of the lead developers is the MVG, or Modern Vintage Gamer. He's a really cool YouTuber, he covers a lot of stuff. And he works for Night Dive Studios, which have done a lot of the different remasters, like Turok and stuff like that, so. There was a song like, "You Can Ring My Bell," right? I know I can't sing, but I could have sworn there was a video like that. Ring my bell. I'm here all week. I don't know where to go now. Pressures. Oh, ow. Ah. Nice. Yeah. Talking about the Quake one? I haven't tried it yet, so... Or we're talking about this one here. What did the bell open up? It was over here, didn't it? No, I would have been here. What did the bell open up? Can I punch it? Very nice. Yeah, I did check it out. I saw Jar already did a blurb on it where he played it on CRT, so I got to try that too. Yeah, it seems like they enhanced everything, and I liked the fact that they made it a fair price, and they threw in everything, it seems like, into it too. Nothing else open up here. I rang the bell. Ring the bell, guys. Yeah, so if you already had it, right, then you just got it for free, right? So as far as I understood, if you already bought Quake on Steam, you now have the enhanced edition included. So that's really cool of them. I mean, I guess Bethesda's got enough cash, they don't need to worry too much about nitpicking you. Oh, I don't know where to go, and it's getting late, so we'll quit the game there. I realized I could go forever, but it runs, so that was a heavy-duty game, right? But beyond that, you can, of course, play so many games on here. And it will run all, most all DOS games up to that era to varying degrees of success. But, I mean, any of your King's Quest or Space Quest or Indiana Jones and all those point-and-click adventure games probably run great. It is, you can buy a hat that you put on a Pi that makes it a MT32 emulator, which can connect with USB directly to this, which enhances this even better or more. And you can use that for the Amiga and the Atari ST as well. So I might get that one of these days. This does work over network to use the same thing over network just fine. Like my Surface tablet or computer, laptop, whatever it is, does fine with the wireless. Connects just fine, and no problem there. So, but it's a fun one to explore. We'll be back to regular retro next week, I think. But it was fun to kind of explore this. I was going to piggyback on the MiSTer stuff that's been going on, and I wanted to stream MiSTer again. But we'll be back to regular computer next week, I think. Probably just one game to focus a little more, stick to it. It's fun to explore a lot of games, but it's also fun to stick to one game. So, but it is late. I realize it's almost midnight here. And I'm going to wake up the puppy probably when I go upstairs to go to bed. So, but anyway, I appreciate everyone hanging out. And we will see you guys next week, hopefully. We'll figure out some game. And I'll see you guys in Discord. I will drop some links regarding this package for the MiSTer if anyone is interested on this VHD. And if anyone wants to poke around with it, then they can do that. So, anyway, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. And I will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Good night.